Oh, how are we tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah. Doing great.
Matt, I didn't want to say it during your intro, but I think I have to come out and say it. I think that we really know why people are tuning in this week.
Why?
Because they want to see me behind that table again.
Exactly.
Incorrect. We actually got... We've actually been meaning to talk to you about this. This is an intervention. You're a terrible dungeon master.
It goes on, game master. It goes on for like 4 whole hours.
Correct. That's the content people want.
You're just mantling me emotionally.
That's what you need.
Right.
So, I believe we have a good announcement tonight, don't we?
I think so. Our 2,500 follower giveaway on Instagram has concluded. I have tabulated all the people who met the requirements, used a random number generator in a very scientific fashion, and the winner of our... You can hold the D20 up in front of the camera.
It's gorgeous.
Ooh, yeah. Dyson v. Copper, Warren Copper, all metal.
In frame.
Yeah. Is the infamous hero 1799. The infamous hero.
That was a very good year.
Yeah. That was when I was born.
Right before 18.
So I will be reaching out directly to the infamous hero 1799 to get their details. Yeah. And then we'll be getting the dice out to them. So thank you to Dyson V for giving us those dice to give away to all of our lovely fans.
Hashtag sponsored.
Hashtag
awesome.
blessed.
Yep, that's right. And if you haven't already, please follow us on Twitter. Follow Dice Priority. Follow me. Follow these lovely people. To stay up to date on everything we're doing. Because just a lot going on. A lot going on, folks. Busy. I'm getting my dice out because I can never ever get my dice ready before a stream starts. There are laws. Yeah, there are laws about these kind of things.
I'll fill in some time.
Go for it, please.
So one thing I noticed, and I'm kind of plugging you, when you Google search Dice Priority, like us on Spotify is like the second thing or the third thing down.
Nice.
It's pretty hot.
I'll have all of the podcasts up to this episode done this weekend.
Nice.
Awesome.
Look at that.
We're going to be on Variant Roles tomorrow for Visley, the Invisible Sun anthology series. Me and Alexis, where I play a naughty librarian and she plays a moon witch.
I do. It's wonderful. I live in a tree.
Without further ado, I believe that's all the pertinent announcements. Let us get started with our little recaparino. Little recap-a-doo-hoo. That's what they're officially called. So I will start us off. When we last left our heroes, they had just returned from a sunken civilization, restored their friend Sylvan to the rank of Mistwatcher, bargained with the Storm Giant, sent her onto the glide in good faith diplomacy, and then met with the ambassador of Droska, the Free Republic, as they call it, the Iron Republic. A kind of magical prohibition, I saw someone call it in chat. A place where the magical prohibition exists, I think is what they said.
Nice.
For their own safety.
And through that diplomatic negotiations, you rebuffed his full-throated effort to instill the Iron Laws in the Western continent. You know, basically like, that sounds real great. It's not you. It's us. It's me. We're not ready for that level of commitment.
Right.
We were more like let the people decide.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not the people. We can't make that choice.
He was trying to get like to third base, like on the first date. You know.
That's right.
They say in negotiations training to be frank.
Yeah, and just tell people what you want.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard that somewhere from some asshole. And then what happened, folks, once you finished or got near the finishing of negotiations? What happened?
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We went off to Droska.
Yes. I remember now. Yeah. We made it to a small town, like in the northern, like close to where we need to get.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I believe he
You go.
teleported us in.
Yeah,
Did he?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight into the town, into the Golden Mansion.
That's right.
Yep.
Of Virta
There we go.
Yep.
Where there might have been some very canon folk heroes that
Correct.
had existed before.
A long time immemorial.
Yeah.
117 years ago, but yeah.
Some say they're still kicking around.
Correct.
Incorrect.
And then, without any kind of moral hand-wringing or ambiguity, we did the right thing on the way out of town and purposefully tried to stop some
That's right.
elemental people from hurting people in the town.
Robbers
There was
and murderers.
no
All
prevaricating or anything like that. We
Right,
just-
no, we just took care of the problem right then and there, and
That's right.
nothing bad happened, and she certainly didn't escape.
Nope.
You were beset upon by a powerful earth elemental and her a powerful earth genie and her earth elemental companions. And after some quibbling, some waffling, some indecision, you did decide to confront her lethally. However, you were not properly equipped to defeat her, and she did get away. But at least you tried, and
I'm sure she will not murder any more innocent people along
Correct.
that desolate
well,
road.
you did the best you could, and you're not gods. You can't fix everything.
We did what we could, and that's what matters.
We pick back up in the road to the frozen norths, in this land of almost permanent nighttime, a very short daytime and almost permanent nighttime, as you've now ventured further north into the Vorgod Oblast on your way to this town that is colloquially named Nighttown. You stand, I believe, just in the brief moments of battle as that earth elemental gets away. Prism, what do you wish to do?
Well, that was unfortunate.
Yes, very much so. But we have to keep moving forward. We have things to do, and time's a ticking.
Indeed. We left the horses off to a distance, right?
Selena very adeptly calmed the horses, protected them, and made sure they didn't run off. And then, yeah.
Did my animal friendship them?
I don't know if you animal friendship them, but you animal handling. That's the skill.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once you guys re-engage the thing, you all kept them back. Yep.
Perfect.
That's what D&D Beyond needs. It needs to have a list of all the spells you've used and at what level.
That'd be awesome.
So, but like they keep track of how many spell slots you have.
Oh.
But like 2
Yeah.
weeks, I don't know what I used on my second level
What's
spell
this
slots.
fifth? Yeah, like what's this fifth dot mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
What would be really handy is a toggle of I'm concentrating on a spell
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, there's a couple features.
I mean, you
for
can
it.
add that into conditions.
D&D Beyond,
Oh, that's good.
we're open. Like, you don't even have to pay us for
Right.
these recommendations, but if you want to.
Rob is a really great app developer.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true.
it's true.
I mean, but then we'd have to move to Seattle.
We'll just all move with you.
Seattle's not that bad.
I
Just
don't
there.
think they're in Seattle.
Yeah.
I feel like they're in Austin for some reason.
They're not.
Austin.
They're
also
on the
not
West
that bad.
Coast. I just
On the
can't
West
remember.
Coast?
And it's not
Never mind.
California.
Ignore me.
Oh, D&D Beyond is different than Wizards. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. Wizards is
Yeah.
all the way out in never mind.
Anyway.
Not even Texas.
Wherever we move to, we will be living in your guys' basement.
Yeah, and I will be
Okay.
living in
Listen.
your walls.
I have like
As a prank.
a small fraction of my neurons firing today. I am not feeling hot. It's great. We're doing great.
Yep.
You want some booze?
This is good.
No, what?
Okay, so I can't track
The
these
bubble tea.
people.
Sorry, I purposefully derailed it.
That's okay. We're all friends here, just playing a game. So you can resume your conversation. The bandit has just gotten away, and what are y'all doing?
We should be on the move. Perhaps
Yeah.
they will come back for vengeance.
I'm tired.
We'll have to keep. Maybe when we get to next town or not town, we can alert the proper authorities to keep an eye out.
We need to take a rest.
I mean, we can trade off resting in the wagon on the way there, so we don't lose time.
Rest in the wagon. And I will take the first watch then. I'm fine doing that.
So is your goal to perpetually move forward to Nighttown, taking shifts and resting in the wagon? Am I understanding that correctly?
As long as we're not
I
risking
think
like
so, unless anyone
the
is.
horses getting exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know how horses work. Sounds fine to me. No, but so how travel rules work is basically it's roughly factored in.
Okay.
So, yeah, you all can do that. So the only big decision you need to make is, do you want to move at a normal pace or a fast pace? Fast pace means you can take a -5 to perception checks.
Normal pace.
Yeah.
I would say
normal.
a medium pace.
Alright.
Yep, we should travel at a medium pace.
Mhm.
It's called normal.
It's medium.
Yeah, that will kill
Medium pace.
So you all saddle back into the cart and get comfortable, and the storm was still rolling in the background that Selena had conjured for the next 10 minutes.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Call lightning.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man.
Can you strike some shit?
Exactly. That
Just
rock in
get-
particular.
Just get your
If
Joneses
I
out.
can see any of them.
You can't. Just the rocks that could be earth elementals.
You know, we shouldn't take any chances.
you could commit like genocide on the
you
rocks.
hit the earth elemental that was a citizen.
It was the earth elemental child.
Choices.
Yeah.
The one creature that was a
Chose wrong.
citizen 30 episodes ago, you assholes. Which was a metaphor, but whatever. So you do press on. Who is taking the first shift to reiterate?
I'll do it.
You are, okay. And the
I'll
three
watch
of you
with you.
begin to bed down. You will make a perception check at regular.
Okay.
Or are you?
Nope.
You'll take a perception check at regular. Regular. What am I trying to say? A regular roll.
I'm really good at this.
Regular roll.
And
Regular
I did not
That's
use
right,
my
regular
inspiration in the last fight.
Cool. An
Anti-advantage.
inspiration now can be a dice or an advantage. So you can
Unless
wait.
it's my bardic inspiration, right?
Yes, sorry. DM inspiration is advantage or the dice.
I think I'd bardic. So
Okay.
then it's just the D8.
Only lasts 10 minutes and it's a D8.
Okay, I'm guessing that doesn't apply to this one then.
As you set upon your journey, you can make the perception check.
Thank you.
Yeah, to see where you go.
I needed it. That will be 13.
Alrighty, 10 minutes in, as you begin to look around, leaving the storm behind you, this place, as it exists, every week, Matt, every week. I always think I need to redo my music playlist. And then I sit down like, you know what? I forgot to do this.
Yep, exactly. No, I feel that pain.
Just a perpetual cycle of self.
I know what you're doing Saturday.
Yeah,
Not
that's
renewing
true.
the playlist.
Nope.
Thinking about it.
Thinking
about it, though.
doing it, never
Hey.
actually doing it.
Christ. So you venture in, and this place is eerie. There are constant strange noises all throughout the night sky. There are strange banshee-like wails, which you have heard before. There is a gentle rumbling all around you as this place seems to be accursed by earth magic. Powerful earth magics. There isn't that kind of weird moaning lightning that you've encountered before by any means, but there is almost the clouds seem angry. They seem tempestuous above you, and you cannot see daytime, but you know through your keen mind and your scouting skills that it is not even all that late yet. Comparatively, it's maybe 9 p.m. and this is. Yeah.
Are these banshee wails something similar to what we heard when we were in Gehenna, or something similar to what we heard in, like underneath the mountain in Fort Mountain Hall, like beyond?
They were exactly like underneath. If you remember the powerful Ungoli, they used banshees as kind of life detectors that floated around and were able to assess you out. If you remember, they like attack dogs. They used banshees.
Oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, good memory, because I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah. Perfect. And it is an unsettling place. You are a stoic warrior, but even in this area, you see a stark contrast between the well-organized and what seemed to be a pretty peaceful and orderly city in Vrdavosaga versus the frozen north of the Forgot Oblast.
This would seem to be a cursed land.
At this point, that's nothing new.
Perhaps
I'm kind of
after
over it.
we end or stop the apocalypse, we can go someplace nice.
Does that exist anymore? Anywhere? I mean, where is that?
I do not
Where
know.
is someplace nice?
Perhaps Silwyn will have ideas.
As your minds turn to that, you do realize that Halfgar was actually probably the nicest place you've ever been to.
That's what I was kind of thinking. It's like a nice little
Maybe
island.
we go back there.
I did see some beautiful shoreline when I was serving in Athadia, but only from a ship. Perhaps that would be a nice place to visit. Though I hate sand, it gets everywhere.
It's coarse.
It's irritating.
Yeah,
I'm sure it gets in your joints. Just can't be
Exactly.
that's right.
It can cause premature wear. I'm not an aquatic model, obviously.
Right. It makes a decent exfoliant, but you know. that's not something that you would really worry about, I suppose.
No, it's more of keeping the natural woods well oiled to make sure that they retain their flexibility.
Thank you, Carnett, for the...
Crime Nat
subscription.
subscribing with Twitch Prime,
Thank
the
you so
legendary
much.
variant roles encounter roleplay dude, Nat himself.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh,
So is it just? Is the landscape? Is it like a barren wasteland? Is it like mountainous or broken by?
So you are cutting a path. So in the western side towards you do know that the mountain ranges is in the same way that Appalachia is called Appalachia and the Rockies are called the Rockies, but have their own smaller subsets. You do know that Magnitogorsk, which is the mountain of iron, is far off to the west. In the northern part, way far to your west, is the part of Magnitogorsk that becomes the Uris, the Cerebral Mountains. You are cutting a path through these kind of lower mountainous regions and kind of cutting a path on this low-lying road, almost like in a valley of sorts. But yeah, so it is mountainous to your west. East, it begins to patter off and becomes an endless plain. And when you look over to the east, you are reminded that this country, you are basically smack dab in the middle, and you have thousands of miles left of Droska. Not on your journey, but to the east.
To these, yeah, my bird.
That this country is unbelievably massive.
Very, very large.
thank you, Salty.
Thank you, Salty, for 8 months.
8 months, my gosh.
Salty, you son of a bitch.
I'd be more enthusiastic if I had the energy. But we love you.
We're also trying not to murder the podcast listeners. Too bad.
Remember the idea? The foghorns every time. Yeah, air horns.
You had to join in on that too?
Everyone's doing it. Might as well.
Peer pressure.
Get on the sub train.
That's right.
Oh, thank you, Pyromancer, for subscribing. He doesn't have to. He just does.
That's right.
Remind me, have I seen a giant eagle?
You have. You would have seen one in Bridgeton, likely, and any time in other places.
Thank you.
I think you became a giant eagle at one
I think I
point.
have been.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
And
We
it
were
was
giant
in
eagles
Bridgeton.
in our normie game.
Yeah,
So
it's
true.
hard to tell.
All bleeds
true.
together.
Yeah.
We skipped Bridgeton.
Do you like how
because
now
you
it's
had
just called a
giant
normie game?
That's right. I've bleeded moments of Selena with eyebrows. Like, did I do that or did Selena?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, it was pivotal. All right, in the normie game that we were all giant eagles,
That's
all
right.
of us.
It was.
It was
awesome.
pivotal.
We got away from the
So-
screaming skyscraper
Listen.
of faces.
Animal shapes is
Yes.
badass.
Mhm.
So it was important. So I just want to make sure I'm playing by the rules. That's all it is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I can make it up if you let me.
That's true. You continue to press on. You do not see... I will put it this way. You do actually see things in the night that want to hunt you, that want to feast on you, that want to kill you. You see strange shadow cats. None of these are beasts. You see serpentine
nothing new.
creatures roam through the earth, but they all seem to be giving you a wide berth. These creatures are natural predators, and they know a group of lethal creatures when they see one, and they are reading you as being highly lethal.
Do I get a long rest?
You do.
Okay, and then I can take whatever watch is next after that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd
Sleep
probably pop out
attacks.
after my 4 hours and start helping watch. Since I'm proficient in perception.
This is my surprised face at all of this.
The horror.
The horror. I'm quite surprised. I will, after the 4 hours are up, I will meditate. Of course, I'm aware of what's going on as I meditate, so I will allow the next watch to occur.
Okay, Rob, roll perception.
And then I guess I'll take the watch after yours.
That probably works. Yes.
Yeah,
I think
because
that-
4
anyone
hours,
helping
4
me?
hours.
No.
I'm not proficient.
Perfect.
It's just
I
straight.
can't help anyone in
If
perception.
you had woken me up, I would have guidance to you.
That's
if I'm
fine.
allowed to
I'm
wake,
good.
be woken up.
I got
guidance
this.
or-
No worries.
He's
7.
really got
I
this.
love Rob. You gotta love it.
I would high
You
five
got
him, but
this.
I don't want to infect
I
him.
mean, after I meditate for 4 hours, I have to get up and pull out my hand mirror and do my hair.
That's
and
right.
Make
Right.
sure everything's
That's
okay.
You spot the rock descending on you from like the
That's right.
mirror. Just the tap.
You're like, no, my mirror! sure. You're
in
not
my
even
light.
worried that you're being carried away.
So, so you are. I don't know what I'm. You are paragonically distracted, maximally distracted, as you venture into the hills of Droska, and you see this land scorched by earth magic, and your mind turns to your aunt Anicia Anastasia, who was a powerful stone sorceress that, during the war, the Elven Wars, not the Great War, during the Elven Wars over 200 years ago, literally made the Stone Marsh what it was by basically petrifying the land in a powerful curse, turning a once beautiful wetlands into stone, so that no one could rue, that no family could prosper, no human family could prosper from it.
No sane family could prosper.
Correct, and it only became a curse on her legacy whenever the Creighton line learned how to harvest residuum and poisonous fumes and all manner of industry and destruction from the stones that she created. It became her most embarrassing legacy. And your mind turns to her, and it dawns on you that she is in Droska somewhere, and the only reason that you have not been able to contact her is because you know that the sending spell does not work across international boundaries. But now you are in Droska, and you know, with this medallion on your...
Yep.
Oh.
And your mind, that's all you can think about. That's all you can think about.
Oh my god. Amazing. Well then.
Then you wonder how far away she is, if this is what this land is like. Would she have lived here? Would she have hated it here?
That notebook is so synonymous.
I love that note.
You know, it would be rude not to be in town and to be in town and not reach out. Just saying.
It's true.
What kind of an Anastasia would do that?
Fully plan orders, yeah. Not while traveling.
So you journey on. It does take you some time, and you eventually get very tired. You all have now been traveling. So it is now 16 days till the blood moon.
Fuck!
Okay, so I get my long rest.
God,
You do.
With there to do whatever the next watch is, I'll take it.
You are up next, Selena.
Okay. So before I take a watch, I am going to, sounds like 8-10 hours into this journey, whatever this looks like.
Yeah, yep, 10 or 12, I think, actually.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah, no, 8, 10, yeah.
I will go ahead and commune with nature as a ritual.
As a ritual, understood.
And 3 miles of above ground terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Any caves within 300 feet into any caves within those 3 miles. And then looking for elementals and people, prevalent people.
Yeah. Prevalent people?
Yeah, so I'm asking about terrain.
Yeah.
I can prevalent plants, minerals, animals, or peoples.
Thank you.
And then elementals.
Prevalent? Okay.
Basically, I just want to know if they're there. I don't care what they are, as long as they're there.
So you search out in 3 miles, and could you repeat the 3 things? I'm sorry.
Terrain.
Yeah.
So looking for the road, basically.
Right.
And if there are any caves where we could potentially stop and water the horses.
Yeah.
Peoples, elementals.
Thank you. Elementals. So the first thing that dings, the spell kind of reorganizes, and you do feel elementals all around you. These things are in the ground. They are, I wouldn't say it's not like thousands, they're not stuffed with it. But it's an uncomfortable number, and it's more that you felt at any point in your life. It's you feel like within 3 miles there are probably 150 elementals.
Ooh.
Oh, that makes me nervous.
And they're all
Wow.
in the ground rumbling.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Real nervous.
Who's seen the movie Tremors?
In fact, you feel one such figure is considerably larger than your standard issue. It seems to just be sifting through the ground.
So if anyone's awake, I'll let them know about that.
I
don't
meditate,
sleep,
so
Yeah.
I can...
And then And then just it'll vaguely tell me terrain and if there's any.
And you are able to find it. We will say without you are able to find a cave if you so choose that you make sure are no elementals lurking in that cave.
Or that it isn't a giant elemental mouth.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then people, there are very, very few people within 3 miles of you.
Okay. So I will relay all of that information, and then I would say I will take the next watch, and I will jump down off the cart.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure that nothing is rumbling right behind us. And then I will wild shape into a giant eagle and coast above and view from above. That also gives me advantage on wisdom checks.
Yeah, the perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Glorious.
That rely
Nice.
on sight.
Yeah.
And I've got 5 hours of this shit, so
So you are Overwatch for 5 hours.
yes.
All right.
Glorious.
So after about 8 or 10 hours of that travel, and as you pursue on, you do see in the distance, this would have helped with your community nature, you do know that there is like there's basically a horse stable, small little settlement coming up. You imagine it is not Nighttown, but that it is like basically you're along the Vorgod Oblast Road. You can stop, water your horses, talk, exchange information.
Perfect. So this would be 24 hours out from where we started?
Because
Because you said another 10 to 12
yeah.
hours.
So this would have been the initial 8. Sorry, I'm going before you. Yeah,
Got it.
before you go to the 5 hours. Yeah.
Perfect.
The initial 8 or 10, you hit your first stop.
Is this Dusktown?
Dusttown is not.
Right before nighttime.
Town is a generous word. It's an inn with some staples, basically. An inn is a generous word.
Perhaps as we approach towns, perhaps we should stop and ask of any notable things to be on the lookout for.
We should
In
let them
afternoon
know.
town.
We should let them know about the elementals on the road.
I'm sure they know.
I mean, not the multitude of elementals, but the ones that were actually robbing people.
I think that would be worst case scenario. They can warn others. Perhaps it is a known event, but we know the general location.
As you come up on this stop, you do see there is a woman who seems to be in the stable. She is very squat and stout in nature. She wears this kind of very simple burgundy, deep red robe that is quite dirty. She has an apron on. She has leather working gloves. And she has this kind of very small necklace that serves as a medallion. Her nose is far too broad. Her skin has this kind of dirt complexion on it. And her hair is a sandy yellow. She looks at you as you come onto your wagon, and she just kind of puts a hand out so that you may stop.
Greetings.
Hello there.
Vitor.
Do you not speak the common parlance?
No.
I will,
Need that helm, Selena.
yeah, I will,
I
Selena.
just held up a finger. Just one second.
Selena.
I will cast comprehend languages.
All right.
So I can understand her. She still can't understand
You're
me.
still an eagle.
No, I wasn't eagle yet.
So
So
this
this is right
Oh,
before.
Yeah,
okay.
this is sorry. This
Sorry.
is I was yeah.
I got
Before.
confused.
This is
This is
before.
right before this.
Yep, correct.
I'm
Just the helm, just picking her up.
And this wonderful cloak on this giant eagle.
That's right. Yeah, just before. Thank you. So you are able to understand her, and she says, "Bush, you don't know the mother tongue. Oh, fucking commoners."
Yeah, we're the worst.
She just looks at you. I don't understand you.
That's okay.
Listen, you need to pick up tongues.
So
Pick it up.
is there any druidic in the area, or I don't think she'll speak Draconic or anything.
You can try other languages. Does anyone here know Primordial?
Oh, wouldn't you know?
That's why we got into that issue with the genie.
Actually, no.
I was just checking.
So I will pull out 2 silver, and I will point to the horses and the stables and the silver, so they can be watered, fed, taken care of.
That's more like it. Yes. She takes it and she begins taking care of and doing her job.
Yep.
Here, see her kind of waddle over. And
Can I tell what race or species she's?
Sure, go ahead.
What check would that be?
just roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
I'm really good at this. 21.
This would appear to be some kind of earth elemental humanoid. Whether that's an actual earth genasi or some kind of special Droskin blend. This is a woman who, a feminine presenting a person who is of the earth, who is close ties to the earth elemental plane.
I will convey that to the group. We were briefed in many of the races, and in case we face them in battle, this appears to be some kind of earth elemental humanoid.
That makes sense, being this far out in these mountains. Seems like an ideal place.
Is anybody else in the mood for coffee now? Hearing special Droskin blend.
That's exactly what I thought. The Droskin blend.
The Droskin blend.
Yeah.
Lots
It's
of
a bit
coffee.
earthy.
It's
Lots
earthy.
of coffee. Is it
Precisely.
earthy? I hope it's earthy.
Of course, it's gonna be earthy.
Good.
And herbal.
We can stop by the inn if you require sustenance. This is likely the best place to do so. It's that or trail rations.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a hot cooked meal if the inn will provide one.
I can't remember. I still need to eat, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They love to eat. So you, with the helm of comprehend languages, are able to decipher the sign, and you do see that the sign reads to this inn, if we're going to call it that. It is called.
Inn.
Yeah. It is called the Dusty Horse.
It's more like an out.
Yeah. It is one of the more. It is one of the more humble
It was such a
establishments.
bad joke. Why did you laugh at that?
So bad.
It's that bad.
We're so used to his jokes that anything even slightly better.
That's right. It's a wide gap.
That's what she said.
Oh god.
I'll be here all night, for better or worse.
It's usually just your puns, sweetheart.
So you are able to enter, and yeah, this is like a 3-table establishment.
Is there one of the 3 tables open?
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
When you enter, another squat humanoid male appears on. His hair is, rather than being sandy yellow, is more of a clay red. And he goes, oh, he kind of lives in. He's like, oh, you're not from here.
Indeed, we are not.
Most definitely not.
No. I am sorry if my wife gave you a hard time.
It's very nice.
She was extremely accommodating.
I tell her, go to Verdovostaga for one summer. Learn the language. This is a up-and-coming town.
It's quite the establishment you have here.
Thank you. Built it myself.
It's very nice. It's sturdy.
It is very sturdy. Because I built it myself.
Before we partake in your services, hospitality, thank you. Perhaps you already know this, but there was a quite intelligent Earth. What did we know it was a genie? Sorry.
Yeah, you do.
Earth elemental genie who seemed to be in some kind of command of Earth elementals between here and
Verdovostaga.
Verdvostaga. It rolls off the tongue.
Sure does.
They seem to be directly targeting travelers. I do not know if you have many between here and Verdvostaga, but perhaps you could warn them.
I will send a letter to Verdovostaga and see if the Zimstrova will do anything about it.
She is quite formidable. Was able to escape.
So is the Iron Council. And all of the Iron Army.
Well, then hopefully they can eliminate that threat.
It is difficult for them to come out here considering the times, but we will write a letter and they will make note of it, and perhaps in a month or two someone will come.
It's better than nothing. And if you're able to warn people about it, they can be better prepared even before the council's out here to take care of it.
It was better than what we had before, which would be you write a letter to the Imperial Embassy, they tell you to fuck off and charge you for the letter.
I'm imagining I hunt her.
Sounds like home.
I hunt her down Jason Bourne style. She's it's 40 years from now. She's at home knitting, and I just through the door.
I remember what you did.
Toto, come in. I have wonderful food here. Wonderful food.
What's your
Potatoes?
local specialty? This fine establishment.
My rock candy, of course.
Mm-hmm. Is it actually rocks?
He just looks at you. He's like,
I will have some. I hope I don't shatter all my teeth.
So yeah, we have a number of different meat pie, dinner pies. We have some limited liquid beverage that we get shipped. You know, just basic spirits and stuff. So I will serve you the meal of the day. We'll eat it, and if you don't enjoy it, please don't tell me. I don't care. He goes off into the kitchen.
I do not require sustenance.
No, I know that. We have warforged here in this country. And he turns around to the one stove that is in his establishment.
It's in the
and
same
begins
room.
cooking. Yeah. He says, I'm going to go to the kitchen, and he turns around 5 feet.
Glorious.
And you can hear him singing a Draskin tune.
Sir, do you know if making a good pace, approximately how far we are from Nighttown?
He needs a medium pace.
He stops. Why would you go to Nighttown? It is colder up there than it is here. And he continues cooking.
The cold does not
We
bother
like
me.
the night. I don't know.
You're idiots, you say.
Yep. It's the only explanation. I've come up with nothing better.
Oh, you have, I would say, so this is 10 hours in. You have 17. You have about 20 hours left.
And if we were to push the horses?
Maybe 15.
Understood.
Interesting.
Do you have many visitors between Volstaga?
Volstaga. It means the city of the word.
I will take your word for it.
Do we know which word? Or just some word?
Veerd means word in Droskin.
Yes, but as if it's the city of the word, do we know which word?
Just
Bird.
The word.
Bird is
Okay.
the
The
word.
bird is the
Perfect.
word, that's right.
The word is Volstaga.
Oh my God,
It's a very meta. It's a super meta town.
yeah. That's right.
Sorry, that's killed me.
So the way it works is Veerd is word, Volstaga is city. So it's word city.
Word city.
Do you have many travelers between Volstaga?
No, not that many, but enough to keep us busy. Mostly it's people coming, departing and going into the hills or what have you, far to the east. So things like that. Taking one of the departing roads.
What do you know about Nighttown?
I don't know much. I know that it is always dark there. I know that it used to be a mining town of some rapport. I know that people in Angustad, the port town on the far north, used to get a lot of their supplies from there for certain things, raw minerals and such. But, quarry ran dry and the town's a shithole. That's what I know.
And you said that, and is this establishment all, or do you call this a town?
No, this is just my inn. And,
You said it was thriving. Correct.
Yes, little humor there.
Oh,
He's
I'm
working.
working
Yeah.
on that.
It's a thing. He's developing. He'll get there.
No, stating something is what it is not is humor.
Where are you from? And he brings you 3 meat pies. 3 pies or some potato pie. I don't
Potato
know.
pie.
Meat potato
Rosemary potato pies.
Ooh, rosemary.
Fancy.
and time.
And he gives you a couple pieces of rock candy. And he sets them next to you. Enjoy! So where are you from? It's sugary rock candy. Yeah.
It's actually rocking.
It's just a rock he picked up from his back. We are from Gishari.
The West. Is it true what they say about Gishari?
I mean,
What
they
do they
say a
say
lot of
about
things
Gishari?
about
Let's
Gishari.
think
Which one
about
are you
Gishari.
talking
I hear you all call each other lords and ladies over there. Spend all the time partying, drinking, spending money.
Only the
Some
top
people.
1%.
It's a very unbalanced society.
Oh, so none of you are lorded ladies.
Have you known a... She like literally just drinks the tea.
I mean, I might have some amount of station.
Oh, how very fancy. Didn't know there was a lord coming. I would have rolled out a red carpet.
No, this is wonderful.
And what are you lord of in the Gishari?
So get.
You're the lord of Foggy Bottom?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, a mana.
Oh,
But it's not bad.
so you're a
It's good-
baronet.
Yes.
A street lord. You have lords for your streets in Gishari. How strange. What are you afraid of? It's not going to pay its taxes?
I like this. It does
It's
seem
a
extremely
very important
contrived.
position, nonetheless.
It's a very important position, nonetheless.
You two of you have killed me. Ooh. Oh, I'm done. Nope.
It is quite confusing.
The
I
end of
agree.
me. I'm done.
It never ceases to amaze me how important people need to feel.
Right. Well, I went to the International Trade School in Vladivostok, so I know a little bit, but I mostly went there to learn, well, and he kind of gestures wildly to the end. You know. But we take a basic world history course, and that's where I learned to read, and that's where I learned things about, like, water, and, you know, basic irrigation systems and things like that. So,
Excellent.
yeah, it's been good. It's been good. So you're all from Gishari. What brings you all the way up here to the Dusty Horse?
Travel.
To Nighttown. Why are you going to Nighttown though? It's not a great place. It used to be a quarry, now it's not.
We have a friend that we seek to meet.
We hear that they have good blacksmiths in Nighttown.
That is true. It was a mining city for some time, and a lot of good members of the Smith Union still live there. So that is true. But you should have taken a ship all the way to Angorod and then came south much quicker than going from beautiful Staga.
We will have to speak to the ambassador next time about that.
Interesting.
We did not know any better.
Oh, it's okay.
Perhaps if we would have had someone as a guide or something, it would have helped.
It happens. Big country, hard to decide.
Can I try some of that rock candy?
Of course you can. And
It's very good. You should get the recipe.
I was just going to ask.
The one thing that you do notice, it disintegrates pretty much the moment it touches your tongue, and it kind of fades. And I wouldn't say gritty, but it has a very granular texture. You know what I mean? It's very fine.
How do you make this?
I could give you my recipe.
That would be great.
She's quite the chef.
I
A
will
little
give
more
you.
my family is, but you know.
I will give you my recipe if you give me a story.
A story.
It's been 24 hours. You really need to inspire us all for 15 minutes.
Yes.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
you're not wrong.
That's right.
Once upon a time, there was, and I proceed to tell a tale about, one of the many tales that my mom and my ma used to tell me, for me to go to sleep, about how they met and how they fell in love.
So I was
We're
dropping,
waiting.
dropping ecstasy at the club.
She just pulls out a
bumping.
Splinter in the Green and starts reading it.
That's right.
Oh my god, yes. That's what I do.
So he perks up an ear. He says, "You have two mothers."
I do.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Thank you. I'm so happy you see it that way.
Of course, we here in Draska outlawed that we made that legal 70 years ago.
Well,
beating your country by some 50 years.
You were ahead of us. So, smarter in that regard. Things move slowly with the bureaucracy.
We all have our struggles. Well, that is wonderful, and thank you for that story. And here's my recipe. And he hands you
Why, thank you.
a rock candy recipe. It uses, again, I don't know baking or anything, but you understand that there's no way he could get sugar up here, but he does something. You're not sure what. I imagine he buys whiskey from Virtuvostaga and like distills it for molasses. Maybe it'd be easier just to buy the sugar, but apparently sugar is hard to get in Droska.
There you go. That makes sense. Maybe it comes
He
from
reverse
tree sap.
engineers the whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand cooking, and I don't care to.
I'm gonna say it comes from tree sap.
All right, there you go. The
rock
If
trees.
you would like to write a rock candy recipe, you go for it.
All
The
right,
Droska
great.
rock candy recipe.
Main
Great.
ingredient,
But you now have
sugar.
All right, that down.
Help me build my world, people. I'm out of ideas.
You can make
We
it
could
from
release a
molasses or
cookbook
honey,
of
actually.
all.
The attic cookbook.
So if there are bees in
The other
Droska, he
cookbook,
could
yeah.
technically
Purple
do it
coffee.
with honey.
Take
They killed all the bees.
They killed all the bees.
Yeah, bees are capitalists.
I like it here.
They have the royal honey.
That's right. They have a queen. They had a monarchy, so they had to
Right,
go.
yeah, they
Hierarchical structure.
We could have. Yeah, exactly.
The bees were the first to go. They killed the bees before they killed the vampire aristocracy.
It's true. I mean, they kind of had to practice first, taking down the matriarchy.
Somebody kept letting them in.
Right. Yeah, somebody kept letting them in. Somebody let the property go to shit. Not gonna name names.
Does my tale about Mimo and Mima count as an inspiring?
Yep, in 16 temporary hit points.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Also, I forgot to hit long rest here.
Hearing that story about how your mom hit that fills me with inspiration.
Listen, they're quite active in the bedroom.
Oh God!
And they're not conspiring against you or modifying your memory.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Living in
Matthew!
constant fear of an ancient black
Matthew,
dragon.
worse.
Actually, every time that you remember hearing them bang, it was them just modifying your memory. That's what they replaced it with.
So you never thought too hard about it.
That's how it works.
Yes.
Canon.
We're uttered.
No,
Canon.
next
Hashtag
card. No.
Those words were under.
That's what
Okay.
happens every time your memory was modified because you don't want to think about it too hard.
Exactly.
So you enjoy your
Nothing.
potato rosemary pie. You enjoy the spirits that are given. You enjoy the rock candy. Is there anything? What do you wish to do now? Press on. Or?
Is there anything that we should be aware of between here and Nighttown? Any particular or notable dangers? Is there something that is infamous between here and there?
Infamous? I would not say infamous. There is, of course, the lumbering. But
I do
Is
not know.
that
I
the
do not know.
big thing?
I
Is
do
that
not-
the big thing I felt?
your guessing is winding up for that. Yeah. So yes, there is. The earth elementals are untamed here because, well, they're earth elementals. They're hard to kill. They're big. They can escape. It's a whole process. But they seem to have a leader of sorts, a powerful, enlarged, strong earth elemental.
This is the one I told you guys of in the card 10 minutes ago.
Oh, great.
To be honest, I mean, he is probably, I'm probably related to him in some way, or them. It's not like it has to be a man. I'm probably related to them in some way, so they leave us alone. But they can be cantankerous.
Is there anything that you do to placate them?
I keep to myself. I don't go drilling. I don't go mining.
There's oil in them hills.
Yes, no, I don't expand. I just have my little shed and I work with the land. So they say that the bandit earth elemental, those types, are just attempting to reclaim what we took from them: gold and metals. That's what they say.
I'm just picturing like one of the horses out there like starts, like pawing at the ground. You're like, Dusty, no! Because it counts it as drilling. Tears the horse apart. Takes the horseshoes off of it. Or the metal.
Yeah. Yep.
What is this?
These are naturals.
It's a really beautiful town.
And so there is that. So, you know.
We'll do our best not to mind anything while
You gonna be
we're
okay?
traveling.
No.
He's dead.
He broke himself.
He did. He broke himself.
Right.
He's quite talented over there.
Dusty, no.
Get out of my game.
Wow.
There's a reason I killed you first.
There's a reason I
That's
killed
true.
you.
Technically, Selena died first. Technically. And it was my plot that kind of killed her. Technically.
I'm good.
That's right.
No,
it was
you're
your
not.
plot that killed them. Do you need the tissue?
Please.
Dusty, no.
Wow. Wow.
As our viewership drops to 1.
Wow.
Our
Sorry.
channel deleted.
Wow. Shame.
I mean, everyone just comes here to see a grown man cry. And
That's
his
right.
own
Cry
jokes.
laugh.
That's true, actually.
It's true. It's our brand on this channel.
So he says, well, he begins to clean up through. He says, so are you staying or are you going on the road tonight?
Going.
Yeah, we must continue on.
You never told me your names. Oh, I'm Igor, of course. Igor.
I am Justice.
Pleasure to meet you.
Selena.
Pleasure to meet you.
Jenny.
Jenny? Okay.
Sevilla Samastasia.
I know that one.
You may know my aunt if she's around. Anicia.
Oh, Anastasia. I have heard of your aunt. I know that she passed through here,
Interesting.
but no one
Recently?
knows. Well, no one knows of her whereabouts who doesn't work for the government.
Yeah,
For obvious reasons.
Sense.
But yes, she was last spotted in the Vorgod Oblast. That is true.
Interesting. Thank you. That is very helpful information.
You're welcome. Safe travels. Stick to the road. Mind your business. No mining, no digging, and if you have a lot of metal on you, well, they're gonna come for you.
Oh boy.
I'm sure we'll be fine. I mean,
Put
nobody's
all
here
my
made out
jewelry in
of
the bag
metal.
of holding.
So he bids you adieu, and
All of
with nothing further, I assume you
How
get back
much
on.
do we owe him?
Negligible, a gold.
Okay.
We should haggle.
Oh my god.
Take everything from him.
Yeah.
What is this, Dragonizers?
You know what? We should just take everything, kill these two. We'll take over the
Yeah,
hedging
this is the
post.
game
We'll
now.
live here now.
Yeah.
We
This
live
is
here.
it. Where this is just going to slowly become
I
our own
mean-
town.
Forever
A
protected by
Wargash
Earth
wouldn't
element.
find us here.
You'd have a hard time, to be honest.
They said we're protected. Alright.
So you journey back on. You assume the gold eagle, giant eagle form, and someone else takes watch.
So I'm watching in the wild shape form, so from above.
Okay, so
that
you're
I can
taking-
see. So I'm taking the watch for those
For
5
full-
hours that I
okay.
get to travel as an eagle.
All right.
And so I can have advantage.
Go ahead and roll with advantage.
You're all too
You're all set back on the road. 16 days till the blood moon.
Well, that didn't help me very much.
Road again.
So 16?
16. With your sight, you were able to make out the things that come around. And again, these creatures do seem to be giving you a wide berth. You've encountered that one bandit, and that seems to be all the threats that this road has in store for you.
Well, we're traveling. I'd like
Yes.
to talk together.
Yes.
I don't quite know the send and spell just yet, but if you would be kind to lend me one of your spell slots, I'd like to try to communicate with my aunt. If she's in the area, she might be able to help out. So I'd like to see her anyways.
Right, of course.
Don't have much family left. So
Right.
don't know when we're gonna get to be able to travel to Drosk again and be able to cast high level spells.
And all of that relies on us actually living to ever travel to Trosk again, let alone.
Very true. This may be the last chance I have.
Right. Well. Do you know what you want to say?
I think, I mean, to keep it short and sweet, I'll probably just tell us where we are and where we're headed, and hopefully she'll respond, or if not, meet us at our location.
It works. It has a better chance of working the more familiar I am with the person that I'm sending to, since I've never met her. I know of her enough, but could you tell me more about her? Like what she looks like? Do you have any like photographs or anything of her?
I will conjure a minor illusion of her in my poem using prestidigitation, I think I
I
can.
haven't seen very many likenesses of her. I mean, the textbooks have information, but not a lot of pictures.
So the spell is minor illusion that allows you to project those images. It's literally
Okay.
called minor illusion. I don't know if you have it.
Yeah, you can just make small objects or trinkets. Dang.
I can use minor illusion, and then you can help me like modify it.
So I will. She is
We're doing like
Have you
a
described her
sketch
before?
artist.
No, you can go for it if you'd like.
All right. She's about my height, maybe a little short.
Okay.
Long, kind of braided hair. She has dark red robes, similar to mine. Very has. It's hard to put into words. She has quite a presence about her. She has stone trinkets adorning her robes and stuff.
Eyes closer together, further apart. What do you think?
A little bit closer together.
Okay. So we go through this process
Yeah,
of like sketch
slowly.
artisting.
Go ahead and roll intelligence plus proficiency.
Nine.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
It's
I
fine.
thought it was a 1. It's not
No, it's a
1,
5.
but it's not much better.
Intelligence plus proficiency.
Oh, intelligence mod plus proficiency.
Yeah.
So no.
13.
13. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so it's Gilly, go ahead and roll wisdom.
It's been a very, very long time. It's been
All right.
like hundreds of years.
You pick the die.
Do the bronze metal one. That's earthy-ish.
I have a preference.
That one.
I'm not putting this on me. Oh hey!
Nice.
You chose well.
Minus.
Exactly. Just straight wisdom.
Yeah, so
13.
it'd be whatever you rolled minus 1, I believe.
Nope, -3.
But it's jack of all trades.
Oh, that's right, jack of all trades, so -1. You're right. So 15.
15. So you do a good job of understanding. You're able to get a pretty good idea. You've read the history books. You've seen some of these sketches of her. You are a trained lore bard after all, and you have some confidence more than you did before about your sending spell working.
Okay. You have 25 words. What do you want them to be?
Anicia, it's Sevelius. I am traveling in Droska. We are headed. It's harder to count and say at the same
Thank
time.
you, yes.
To Knaptown. Please respond if you're in range, or meet us there. That's good.
I said that.
So you could repeat that.
Anicia, it's Sevelius.
Yeah.
We are traveling in Droska. We are headed towards Knaptown. Please respond or meet us there.
And you're sending it.
So I'd probably say, I probably add right before that, Anicia. Oh no, I don't say Anicia. I say, Lady Anastasia, because I guess that's what I would address her as.
Sure.
On behalf of Sevelius, and then
cut
the
off.
rest.
You cut off the fifth of his sentence. Or we are heading to.
It's nice to make your acquaintance. Sorry for bothering you at such a late hour. We are headed to.
Oh shit!
Sibelius has a message for you, which you would wish me to convey immediately.
Post haste, without further delay.
With no delay, consternation, or hesitation, I bequeath upon you the following missive. Letter, if you will. Christ.
I don't think he's gonna help.
God abandoned us long ago.
Effectively, I cut out whatever little words I can to make sure that
Why many
Nighttown is in there.
No, that happened. Alrighty. So the reply you get,
Oh boy.
the reply you
She
get
can
is,
respond as part of the message.
she will say, I'm not a lady. And I don't know who you are. But if Sibelius is really there, there's a pause. Tell him I'm in Andragrod.
In where?
Andragrod. It's the port city that you all are headed to leave.
Oh, good. That's fortunate.
You also don't know if it's true.
Right.
She's actually 1,000 miles away. 10,000 miles away.
Did she respond?
Okay, sorry. Yes, I convey all of that to you.
Perfect. Alright. Well, at least it eases my mind to know she's alive and in a city at the very least, and not out here lost or something.
I was half expecting her personally to be the Earth Elemental, the big one that we had. That's the twist.
Well,
What
I guess.
do you think this game is?
What twist would that be?
What do you think is
What's the
happening?
metaphor? What's the sub-theme there? Because I'd like to hear it.
So how do we lose our humanity and go to
Yeah.
our baser instincts
Right,
as we get
yeah.
left in the political landscape?
Ain't
that's-
feeling it.
I'll workshop on that. I've got ideas.
They could be your galaxy of terror.
Alright. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'll go back to my reading and mirror looking. I actually have a book up and there's no mirror in it.
Oh my god.
Sneaking.
Just so that you can check your own hair as you
Yeah,
read.
my bookmark is a mirror.
That makes a lot of sense.
I should get a mirror bookmark.
So, for the sake of brevity, what happens next over the course of, the 20 hours or so that you were quoted? It is now 15 days until a blood moon. You are all fully rested as Nighttown begins
It's like
to
2
enter
days
your
at once.
vision.
So with that day, then let's see.
Yeah.
Who else do we need to talk to?
In Droska?
Should I send a message to the person that we're going to be meeting?
We've never met that person. None of us have.
We have a name, right?
Yes, we do, but perhaps I do not know how accurate or inaccurate that magic can be.
Okay.
I would hate for it to be intercepted by the wrong flat off.
That's fair.
You don't have the name?
It's in I have lots of notes all the way back to January. So I'm sure it's in there.
So over that day, I would have stayed in the eagle form twice to get as much of the landscape as high as I could. So your Isidro could see her mountains and landscape and all the other things that I'm sure she's missed.
All right. So during that time, whenever you were looking out over the mountains, you will.
Sorry. sorry.
How-
Halfrenscar is the guy.
Harfrenscar, yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I need to drink water. Eurysidra will speak to you. She says, it is good to be back home again. It is good to see the site of my once great empire.
You said you were glad to be back. Just wanted to make sure you got to see as much of it as we could.
It has been some time since I flew over these mountains and with my wings. We are not far from the spot, I mean, relatively speaking, but travel far enough west and you will see the place where I surrendered my armies.
It's something I couldn't forget.
Can I ask you something?
Anything.
You and this Alric, to whom you are wed, how do you feel about him? Overall. The best of him and the worst of him.
I've spent the last 15 years looking for him. You don't garner that kind of dedication just for any person. And as much as he's been through, there's enough of him still left to be able to rebuild that relationship.
He is very charming, very handsome. What would you say was his worst quality? Or is his worst quality?
He's probably the only person in the world that can out-stubborn me.
Interesting. Interesting. I was married to the vile tyrant for centuries. I will tell you something that I have perhaps said before, but has only been that no historian would ever truly know. He was a unbelievably cruel being. But he could also be very kind. He was very good with animals. He cared for a great many orphaned hellhounds and bearskins and all sorts of creatures that were rendered homeless in the wars. I ruled over that empire with him, at first very begrudgingly. But as the decades passed and the cities were built and the kings and counts of yore came to us and gave us gifts, my resolve waned. And I made peace with it. I still think of all the pleasure that I enjoyed and all the finery that I was adorned in for those centuries when we ruled the world. I don't think I know why I'm hated. I know why I'm celebrated. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive myself for complacency. But more importantly, I don't know if I will ever be able to forgive myself for learning to love him. And I did love him.
It takes a strong person to be able to sacrifice what you did. And it takes someone even stronger to find compassion in that. I think the cruelness and the evil that he brought into the world has to be mirrored as two sides of the same coin. lucky enough to also see the kindness that is reflected back in that balance.
When I am free, if I can be freed, I believe I will have to find some way to make amends.
It's always hard having red in your ledger.
No amount of washing will ever get it all out.
Well, you'll have centuries.
Centuries.
But for now.
And after some time, with those time passing, you were able to. So we are basically at the very cusp of 15 days. Based on So we're at 15, but you're at the earliest part of it. We'll say for simplicity. So the equivalent of this, early in the day. You are able to see in the coming, we'll say during one of your giant eagle shifts, you're able to see this kind of quarry town. Based on your travels, based on the map you were given and everything, you do understand that this is probably night town in the distance. You are about an hour's travel away.
My town ho.
As you approach closer and closer, if it was possible, the darkness gathers even more. There are no shades of light or daylight. There is no even fabrication or hint of the change of time. It almost as if time begins to stand still as you enter into this quarry city. You come up from the south, and this town lays to I'll say to the east for my mind. I don't know why. And this town is built into a quarry. There are little etched houses. There are scaffolding. There is scaffolding. There are houses in rows at the bottom. There is what seems to be a kind of promenade high at the top with some kind of municipal structure. This is a town of maybe 1,000 people. It's small. Mm-hmm. And most of the adornment here is iron, like iron houses, maybe perhaps some steel frames, brutalist architecture, and lots of built into the side of this quarry stone homes. What do you wish to do?
Is there an inn?
Go ahead and roll perception.
Now I roll the good perception. 27.
27, yeah. You're able to pretty quickly find a kind of inn. I imagine use your helm of comprehend languages. So this one is going to read the Stone Home.
The Stone Home.
Yep, it is built in the side of this quarry. You come up onto some scaffolding. I imagine you find a place to see. So the way it kind of works is you would, in the lower section, you would rest your cart, put your horses at this kind of entrance, and then on the upper entrance of this 2-story stone inn, you could enter.
Perfect. I can get us lodging for the evening, take care of the horses. How many of us do you want to go with you?
I'm sorry, I missed it very briefly. We're in Nighttown,
Yep.
yes?
You're now in this quarry town.
I believe that we should
all
all
go.
be to the Voidsmith.
Right.
Okay. Is there any druidic in this town?
I would say so. Yeah, there is some. It is. I would say the overarching druidic is a kind of geological timetable, a telling of the shifts of the ages, and it's mostly histories.
Histories and like weather.
Yep.
It gets humid here in August.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's dark.
Is there any
Mostly
specific
cloudy.
weather markings for whatever time of year this is? So as we come into fall, are we expecting snow for the passes to close? Anything that would impede us going forward in the next month?
In the next
Well,
month?
in the next 2 weeks.
Next
really.
2 weeks, weather in this area.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say, since considering the time period and everything, I would say there is an eerie lack of snow this far north, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of mention of snowstorms, which you find kind of odd.
Meteorologist Jack
But
Bauer.
it's very cold. This doesn't seem to be a place where snow happens.
So it's kind of tundra-ish. Less snow, more like cold desert.
Yeah, it's like a cold desert now.
But we passed farming and stuff on the way in.
Yeah, some limited amount. You probably imagine some sort of magical.
Irrigation.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It is definitely a land that is wrestling to settle. And that is probably a byproduct.
You said it's very early in the day.
Yeah.
mean,
I would say in Vertivostaga you saw snow.
Let's talk about this for another 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Snow.
Just kidding.
Yeah, in Vertivostaga
Just take
you
a nap.
would
It's fine.
you would have seen snow, but now that you ventured further north, you don't.
There was one thing I would like to do in town. It might seem like a minor errand, but if there's a place that sells books,
Okay.
I'd like to find one.
All right.
Naz mentioned that she would like a book from Droska.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
If you tell any of the rest of us you're looking for books, I will help.
Sure. Yeah, just like asking around and languaging and
If you don't find one here,
15.
you may
So-
be able to find one at the port city.
Exactly. I figured I'd grab a couple because I don't know what she likes.
It's a very small town. I would say that upon searching, you don't really see like what you would consider a bookstore or even a library. There seems to be maybe some kind of temple.
Okay.
You know what you should find for Naz? Some smut. They don't get out much. Maybe they would really enjoy some smut. I don't know.
I will be sure to get her a variety. Perhaps the temple sells some smut. I will ask. I'll go.
You
I'll
should do
go to
that.
the temple.
They most likely do.
He's gonna stand
I want to
back
be a
here
fly
and
on the
watch.
wall there.
Good morning.
So as you approach the temple, you do see someone with a kind of miter, small miter amulet sitting out front. You do see that the temple doors are just ever so slightly open as you approach this inn, built into the side of this quarry temple. And they look up. They say, "Oh, good morning. You are not from here."
Indeed, and you speak the common tongue.
Yes, I am an administrator. Yes.
Yes, we are visitors to the town. I'm looking for, I believe the term is souvenir for a friend. She wishes some type of reading material from the land of Droska.
Well, this is a museum, so we don't really. Well, I guess we would have maybe some little something you would take along. Yes.
I'm looking for a variety of different materials, so whatever you have would be.
Such as.
Anything. I do not know what her likes are, but perhaps something related to history or geography.
Lot of history here. Why don't you come in?
Okay.
And so as he pushes open the stone door,
It's a museum. I'm going.
yeah, and he says, "Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a museum to one of the temples that is, of course, no longer permitted in this region."
Do I recognize who it was to originally?
Go ahead and roll religion.
Okay, we're gonna get the big dice out for this one.
I don't think I'm trained.
9,
I am not.
right? 9.
So one of the things that immediately hits you is these kind of feral bat-like faces that serve as wall sconces.
Yes.
And you see their mouths and tongues are wide and hanging open, and they have these basins beneath them.
Freaking Church of Blood.
I do ask him, and what religion is this?
The religion of the Damir Empire, of course. Which is, of course, no longer permitted.
Well, that's good.
Damirism, you could call it, but there were other names for it in the old tongue.
Indeed.
Interesting.
And
Why did they place the basin?
Well, you see, there is what is known as a blood bank in the back room, and where they would store the blood, and it would spill out, and it would create a continuous fountain, so that the elite practitioners and whatnot could have a steady supply of blood.
Very interesting.
He shows you these macabre milking instruments that they would stick into people's necks. He shows you scripture. He shows you all sorts of religious accoutrement from the vampire religion and empire that once ruled Droska.
Foreshadowing.
Part of me kind of wants to brag, like, you know, we killed a couple vampires once. I'm not gonna do it. So you say the Droskan authorities drove out the vampire Donmir? Donmir?
I love you.
Your memory is not very good. They should send you back to the life forge for some rewiring.
Indeed.
It's like Swiss cheese
He's
in there.
working on it. Keeps taking blows to the head.
That's right. It keeps having it memory modified. Okay, yes.
Points of damage.
I was gonna say something damage to my memory is in my.
It was
Swiss
my
cheese
punishment
in
for you
there.
forgetting anything ever.
Right.
That's how we make justice just like Chase.
Right. It makes it easy.
We're gonna live on the fat of the land, George.
Just look at the flowers, Justice. Just
Look at the flowers.
Flowers.
Just.
That was a lot
Just
of
cynical.
reference. We're not gonna unpack that.
So he does. He gives you a brief history. He shows you the mask of an iron shadow, which is actually something that you're starting to realize you've seen before in the hobgoblin shadow monks that you've trained with. That those were actually Praetorians, and the Praetorian hobgoblin iron guard that helped overthrow the Demirian Republic.
Oh, good.
The Demirian Empire, excuse me. And you're like, oh, that's what an iron shadow is. And that you are actually trained in Praetorian hand-to-hand combat. That's one of your influences.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
You're like, this okay. Okay, alright, this is fair.
He explains that hobgoblins are a very integral part of the Revolutionary Iron Party, how they are part of the Central Committee, and that the Praetorian culture has helped bring stability and peace to the Republic.
Does he seem, when he's saying any of this, like, imagine you were, like, in the Deep South and you were, like, a Confederate war museum and they were talking about it and how they might, like, lean one way or the other?
Okay. Roll insight.
Just tosses him without looking.
14.
We're squirrely today.
There was something so funny about that. Oh my
Because he knows he
God.
doesn't have very good insight.
He's just like,
But his character is like supposed to be good at reading people.
he's like, I'm so good at this.
Ran out of proficiencies. Oh well.
That's true.
I feel the same way. Anyway, so leaning one way or another, I would say, would you get 13? He is not
14.
consciously performing any deception. He is an administrator of the Iron Republic, and you are assuming he has some biases. That being said, there is definitely no active deception, and he believes what he's saying.
So he doesn't seem to be, like, talking about, like, the War of Northern Aggression.
No,
kind of a
nothing like that. No double
Okay.
talk. He is just telling you the way it is. A lot of what he's telling you is common history. It's
Okay.
common international history. It is known that the Iron Revolutionary Party has hobgoblins. It is known that they overthrew the Demir family in a late winter 70 years ago.
It is known.
It is known.
Do you have any lore that is perhaps less well known, or something that is written in the local parlance, the local tongue?
Oh yes.
Well, where you stand in this temple in particular was the home of a mining operation to create what is known as bloodstones. They were used for regents, sustenance, crafting materials, all the like. If you ever encountered a magic item that allows one to be imbued with vampiric power, that is made from a bloodstone.
Huh.
You're wearing one. I am. And he actually looks at your cloak. He's like, made from a bloodstone. Don't worry, it's not illegal.
Oh, is it on my vampire cloak has bloodstone on it?
Well, he's just pointing out that the enchantment was
Okay.
crafted from a bloodstone.
I just remember to have somebody with, like, vampire powers, too.
You're the soul of a vampire in you.
I do. Sort
Yep.
of.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I ate.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
probably a
And
poor
your Praetorian
choice.
training allowed you to. Yep.
Yeah, my Praetorian.
Yep.
It's all coming around.
Praetorian. It's like Bator, but it's Bra with an R.
Brator.
B-R-A-T-O-R.
I'm gonna change that.
Brator.
Bra.
Where they're like, brah, yo, I'm straight up not having a good time with these vampires, brah.
As we met up at Buffalo Wild Wings
You did that way
afterwards.
too well.
It just oh my god, yes. It just makes me think of
I'm
Brain
Meryl
Tag.
Streep.
That's all I can think of now.
Bra. Yes. Any of this written in your local tongue would be of interest to my friend. She is.
I can give. Listen, we're not like, we don't set these things up to sell you tchotchkes like they do in the West. It's not like that here. This is for history, common culture.
So
It's not a trap.
So you run
He's
this
like,
thing-
that being said, he turns around. Not really.
I was hoping
No. Actually, no.
He
Gift
just
shops are.
opens his cloak.
In my mind, gift shops really can't be a thing because I know the whole point of gift shops.
Of course.
which are a
Yeah.
trap and yeah. So,
But that being said,
that being said, for $5.99, no. He will go to
Fine.
behind his
This
administrative
replica
counter
Bloodstone.
and he pulls out a bloodstone. No, he pulls out a small book. It's basically a brochure, but it's like a training brochure. Is what he used.
It'll just start because when we're in the port city, I'm going to buy more. I'm like I don't know what she likes, so I'm buying a few. So how much does he want for?
He looks at you. He's like, I'm an administrator. We don't do money. There's no money in the iron cities.
Is there
We
anything,
only use currency in the hinterlands.
Is there anything that you need from me in return? Is this barter?
No, my God, you people from the West, it's always exchanges with you. I just do something for you, and maybe you do something for someone else.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what was your name again,
Be
sir?
nice.
My name? Funny you should ask, because I totally have one.
Boris.
It's Boris.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The museum
It's funny how those
administrator.
names just kind of fall to the wayside.
Yeah, who cares? Like naming NPCs.
He is
2019.
under allies, right?
Friends.
And he's not, and he's we kill you all.
He's totally gonna help us when the blood moon hits.
He just
gonna
shows
come-
up and just clubs a Vorgesh
Yeah.
in the back of the
Right.
neck.
He's
We
going-
need every ally.
He's
we
a
can
Zora
get.
High.
No. When one of Vorgesh comes, he's like, funny you should mention. I do something nice for me. I do something. Summoning him to fight a Vorgesh.
That's right. Funny you should mention. Matt is every DM.
The
Thanks,
prince
Dad.
who was promised.
That's right. He's the what was remember the remember John Wayne in the future game, The Vengeance of the Solace, the Sword of Truth, the legendary Bodak hunter.
Yes.
This is John
Gosh,
Wayne.
yes.
But in this game.
Yes, that's right.
In the what was it called? Brave New World.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I still have fond memories.
Vengeance of the Solace.
And Freya
Well,
/
perhaps. Thank you very much, Boris. Appreciate the history lesson.
You're very welcome. What were your names? Then if you tell him, it doesn't fucking matter. he bids you to. Have a good day. Stop by the Blood Temple Museum some other time. Bye.
As we close the door,
Everyone
like-
talking like that in Druska.
His Nosferatu features like appearing as you close the door.
With the hair,
Right.
the ball cap,
Yeah,
long
exactly.
fingers,
Yeah, he's
just
a hacker.
hacking into things.
Hacker man. Perhaps we should go see the Voidsmith.
Can you sense vampires in the area? Is that a
I
thing you
can.
can do?
Yes,
Is it? Yeah, Undead's on that, right? Mm-hmm.
it absolutely is. But there was no one dead the first time, so.
Now we're in perpetual dark, so.
I mean, all the undead have
And
been
you are
kicked out of
really,
the
you are a
Draftsmith.
lot,
Certainly
like hundreds of
not
miles
here.
away. You guys have traveled. To give you an idea, you've traveled, if I did my math right, not 100, sorry. You traveled from Virtuvostaga to Nighttown.
3 days, probably 60 miles.
Yeah, 60 miles, yep.
Yeah, because on average a horse can pull a cart
Yep.
20 miles a day.
Yep.
I don't know why I know these things.
Well, this is actually in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I had to look it up for
Oh.
Storm King's Thunder as
Is
well as
it?
this game, yeah.
Oh, I was just making up
They,
over.
they say
real
17 or
things.
24, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, about
Real
60
things.
miles. So you're about 50 some odd miles or so from when you first did that. So
Okay, well tonight, or whenever we're not just in the middle of the street, it's not gonna take me 10 minutes to just sit here and hang out. We will double check for undead. I promise.
all right. Did you want to ask the administrator Boris about the smith or no? How are you going to find the smith? Because you don't know where he is. There doesn't seem to be like Void Smith.
As he starts to close the door.
Void
Okay.
stones for $5.
Voidstone replicas!
Sure, yeah. Before he closes. Boris.
Oh, you needed something. Yes, hello.
Yes.
Oh, I do have animal message.
Since you seem to be quite knowledgeable, we are looking for a blacksmith by the name of Hunfasar.
You see his face harden when you say that. He's not a blacksmith. And I'm sure you know that.
Indeed.
All right.
Oh boy.
Business is your own. You're not the first foreigner to come here asking for him.
Recently?
Some months ago.
Could you describe
Tall elf.
Yes. Accompanied by a couple halflings. Come to think of it. Well, no, they wouldn't look like you. Because they're adopted. Halfling like this one.
Well, what type of elf?
Shit.
What did they look like?
One was very attractive, that's all I remember. But, I mean, he kind of gestures widely, so it was, you know, elves.
Male or female?
Not sure.
Well, we appreciate your assistance in this matter. If you were able to point us in his direction.
I will show you the way. He leads you to a, it is on the third tier of this city. It is on the opposite side of the municipal building, and it is essentially above this blood church, and then you go a little north. He shows you to it, and you can see that this is not. It was probably. You can see where there used to be a stone sign that has now been broken off. You know, shop's closed. Then he goes. He's inside. Good luck.
Thank you, Boris.
He looks at you. He's like, "Don't blow up my fucking town."
I will do my best.
Seems fair.
He walks away.
Listen, I can hide behind creatures, so.
That's like a nuke, like the star bomb getting set off there, like a 50-mile fireball. I have evasion.
Just saying.
Wait, I have evasion. I would make it.
Or you would fail and take full
So
damage.
one of the things you notice as you venture onto this town, there are not a lot of people like outside. It's a desolate place, and the very few you see are ragged, tired, weary, and old. You stand before this stone door.
Shall we?
This house.
Shall we knock?
Is there any writing that I can touch?
I would say no, because it's been sanded off and broken away, because this is no longer a shop. It's just a house.
We'll look to the rest of the group. And then
2 bits.
And that was the second two knocks after was the two.
Yeah, 2 bits.
You already did it.
Yeah.
You hear from beyond the stone door. You hear. Well, it opens first. Just a crack. Who is it?
I am Justice.
I don't know no justice.
No, you do not. However,
Would you like to? Sorry.
That
We
was
have-
not a threat.
what is the name of the ocean between the two?
A great span sea.
We have crossed the great span sea with tales of Hunfasar, the Voidsmith.
Whenever you say Huntford's are the Voidsmith, you hear this kind of echo out from the house. You hear Sophia.
Oh.
Was there somebody in there that knows my name?
Don't say that word. My God. Well, your words have power, you know.
Next night on the Voids Bay.
Yes.
We heard you were a talented smith.
You can see he has barely cracked this open. There's just enough for an eye to come through it. You can see that this eye is scarred deeply. It is barely there. It is almost, you more see like a vacuum. Almost like a vacuum, but there is just the faintest hint in this darkness of a white eye.
You know, almost like a point in the void.
What would you say? Did you?
I said we've come seeking the
Yes.
services of a smith. Not saying the viewer.
And who told you of me?
Who did we? I've
Isn't it-
heard from 2 people
Isn't
actually.
it better that names aren't named?
This one I must know.
We heard it from 2 names. I heard it from. I'm saying this to the group. I heard it from Beverly. Who was the
Right.
second person who put us on the trajectory?
The Son of Storms.
Oh, okay. Say
No, not the Son of Storms. I'm sorry. The Hags.
Thanks.
The Great Hags.
The Great
Grand
Hags,
Grand
Grand
Hags.
Hags of
That's it.
Faladin Loch.
The page is back, I can tell you that.
Astra sent you.
Yes, that was her.
Come in.
Here's 50-50 chance you've chosen well.
Stone door opens and you just see darkness. The only one who can see is you inside of it.
Oh boy.
So it's magical dark.
And you see
What do I see? Oh no, what do I see?
you see a home.
Oh.
However, there are figures in this home.
Yes.
You see, kind of stretched out on this large sofa, there is this kind of tentacled monstrosity. A writhe and mass of tentacles that seems to just be eating out of a object of some sort. You see a smaller one dancing on the table.
Oh, what?
This is great. I'm so excited.
Put a
my
duck in
gosh.
here.
You see a couple human-sized ones hanging from the ceiling.
They look like void
Yeah,
voidling creatures.
they're all
like what we
imagine.
fought?
Well, voidling. They are voidlings, but they have a more fleshy material to them, a more spongy
I
construct.
didn't think that sentence was going to get worse.
Here we are.
Here we
Welcome
are.
to the Ghost of the Machine.
Wow.
They don't seem to be hostile or aggressive.
It's
They
not.
seem to be. What?
And the goggles don't work.
No, it's magical darkness.
I would
Yeah.
slowly back out of that.
You just see darkness before you.
I'll enter. You said to
Little,
enter.
little
Okay.
duck in here.
Unfortunately, I have to keep it that way.
Right.
So you enter.
I'll walk in.
You see the very large one that stands up is now about 10 feet tall, and it kind of.
I am avoiding contact with any sorts of eyes.
You see it kind of sniff all around Justice.
Oh.
I can obviously sense this. Like,
You don't.
I don't sense it at all.
No. Perception.
Oh no.
And it turns around and lumbers into the back of the house.
I'm just like clutching onto whoever's closest to me. It's probably Sibelius. Like,
I mean, it's a little dark, Gilla, but I don't know when you've ever been scared of the dark before.
Listen, we have reason to be afraid of the dark.
What?
We have plenty of reasons to be afraid of the dark. What have we fought in the dark before? A lot. We fought a lot of things that live in the dark.
My door is closing.
I'm inside already.
yeah, I wonder.
Not that I like it.
So you all enter.
Yes, but I would keep my back against the door and go no farther.
Alright. The door shuts behind you.
The back of the door is tentacles.
Yeah.
Thank you for following Trihex VSF. That's awesome. Thank you. Keep following people. If you're enjoying tonight's stream, follow, subscribe. Let us know in chat. Be like, hey, this is really great. We love you, Matt. You're super handsome. Whatever comes to mind.
Just
Stream of
Yeah.
consciousness. Like,
That's right. That's right. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking.
the neon sign.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking.
It's a problem.
It is. It really is.
So you hear him mutter a few words, and he snaps his fingers, and you see an outline of a person. And you see him actually playing, so we'll get to your description.
Oh boy.
And you see this kind of, so it's an outline of a person, a white starlight outline, and then it outlines the kind of crevices of his face. So he's just this kind of, like you sketched someone's body and crevices with starlight in a void.
That was a fantastic effect.
His eyes flash. It is how we could speak to one another. You see
Yeah.
a small, old, tired man with what wisps and left of his hair are stark white from fear. a life of fear. He only has one good eye, and it's not that good. You can see his arm on the left is deeply, deeply scarred, and you can see that his veins occasionally move on their own accord.
Yep.
You can see he wears very simple wrappings that are just charcoal, and his right arm is a series of tentacles.
Yep.
And in the starlight outline, you just see decently sized, roughly average human man.
There's nothing wrong with this.
No, everything's fine.
Human height,
A little on the shorter side, but yeah.
but not like halfling short. I'm just going to try to act like everything's as normal as I can.
Steps away. You have journeyed far, and if Astrid has sent you, then I'm assuming you have a rough idea of what it is you ask.
We do.
Very, very rough.
I am bound by the gods of the void to create. I assume you have remnants of them in your person.
That we do.
Diamond?
Yes.
How many diamonds do you have?
Pull out the void diamond.
Don't pull out mine.
When you pull them out, you hear so furious.
That never gets old.
Did that come from anything in the room?
It seems to come from all around you.
Like all the creatures, or just
Yes.
generally?
You see the creatures
Glad
kind
I'm
of
so
perk
loud
up,
now.
and there's this kind of gentle shriek. The things from the ceilings, they like.
Do they hear any of those creatures?
You hear the.
So not only am I the only one who can see them, but I'm also the only one who can hear them or even be aware of their presence.
Congratulations on your warlock invocation, by the way.
Ah! I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
I will. If a player ever chooses magical devil sight in my game, I make them
Pay for it.
pay for
That's
that.
right.
You made a
We gave him
choice.
choices.
Chose wrong.
You'll pay.
Yeah, that's right.
Get fucked.
Feels good. Fight.
Just any choice.
Joking, of course.
Beating you with a shovel because of your choices.
I'm joking 99% of the time.
Like I'm
Every once in a while.
holding up a sign that just says "Help us." Like on the bottom of my
It's
glass.
obviously Stockholm syndrome.
My shaking hand as I'm drinking. Help us.
Okay, so you do have this moment here where that is happening, and to avoid diamonds. So you either want me to craft you one really big fucking weapon, or two smaller ones.
So we also have. You have the shards.
That is a poor choice. I will say into the darkness.
I mean,
Seems to
We
echo
want-
forever.
if we want something that'll help slay him, can reforge that with a diamond in it.
On its own, I'm sure it would be fine.
Well,
I mean-
maybe. So, I'm just gonna use message real quick and say to Selena,
We can hear you.
oh, never mind.
The void cannot be deceived.
Yeah, no. I figured that was gonna happen, but I still needed to do it in character.
You gotta try.
I still needed that in character moment.
Respected, understood.
Listen, that thing that we have to deal with. If we deal with it here, it's gonna come up and be a problem again somewhere else. If you catch my drift.
Yes, I am catching your drift.
So that can help us not have to deal with it twice.
What are you speaking of, and why do you speak in riddles?
We have the shards of a sword of sorrow.
Wasn't my information to talk about.
And you hear this kind of.
Mother of God. Why?
He is coming.
The void does not care.
Yep.
You would like it remade.
absolutely like it remade. Can it be forged with one of these 2 diamonds?
Of course it can be.
Is that wise?
What are your intentions?
Killing a Vorgesh.
Then it is very wise. As long as you don't care how many die in the process.
Oh, that's neat.
The void takes everything. You hear this kind of everything.
So is he saying if we combine the 2 and kill the Vorgesh, it would create an effect that would kill?
The void tape exacts a powerful toll. You've already seen its power at work. When the city was leveled, that was, even though by deception, the void was, the power of the void was used by Beverly to assassinate a duke. This is pre-stream. So Beverly got the power to assassinate the duke. Part of that bargain was he planted that void, the remnants of that void creature inside of the duke's body. And, well, you all saw the fallout from there. 2,300 people are missing.
And was that triggered by them trying to heal?
That was triggered by the resurrection. That was one method.
Okay.
It was.
We've been carrying these because I don't absolutely know what to do with them. I understand the sword on its own, reforged, would be enough without the extra destruction.
It would be considerably more powerful with the void. You would wield a weapon of unimaginable destruction. None would be your equal.
If we're... I mean, if we do it, it'll help us potentially learn more and learn how to harness the power.
I for one
You're speaking about harnessing. Never mind.
I for one would actually advise against it, as much as I would like to hit a Vorgesh with unimaginable power. What would happen if Duplo were to wrest that sword from our grasp and wield it herself?
I mean, we already have the
Void sword.
probability of a Vorgesh taking it back.
We do not want to arm them with something as powerful as that. I do not trust in our ability to keep it.
What's to stop her from doing that to Beverly now? What he has. With anything he's created.
I believe I would...
But that would just be one void dagger. And whatever else he has, that would not be the Sword of Sorrows.
Mixed with...
An artifact.
Or diamond.
And Beverly did say that was his one play at bat.
What?
Mixed with... So
Mixing those two?
then an old artifact that predates all of us. Mixed with the void.
So if we just reforge the sword, to be careful.
Okay.
So would you be able to reforge the sword as well as whatever project they have?
Yes. What is the other project?
I am fond of daggers. Something swift.
The reason we're here as a group is probably separate from why you're here.
I honestly forgot.
So let me
the whole
speak to
reason.
that then.
Yeah, so you speak
The
to
reason
the
that
of
we're
the group,
here
so, yeah.
is because we need to deal a very powerful foe a blow that will distract significantly, because we are extremely outpowered in this. And our hope is that you would help us keep that destruction as minimal and directed as possible. We don't want thousands to die.
You wish not only to harness the power of the void, but to master it.
We were told if we cared about collateral damage that we should come talk to you.
We wish to stop Armageddon. Of Orgesh.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
We're here so we can get glitch out. I'm telling you this out of character. We're here so we can get glitch out. In order to get glitch out, we have to deal with.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to deal with Duplacroix.
And that was what
And we're supposed to unleash this void creature because it is more than Duplacroix will expect to have to handle from us.
Oh, okay.
But we also don't want to just unleash the thing where it just causes thousands to die willy-nilly. So Astra sent us here to learn how to be able to harness that and control it and mitigate the damage. Am I correct here, Matt?
That is
Okay.
one of the things. And then in this auxiliary case, that whole process plus the thing you're trying to do all helps you, in theory,
Yes.
prevent the apocalypse, or at least
Got it.
deal with its after.
I remember all that in character. It's been a few weeks.
Thanks for the primer. Back to the
'Cause-
story.
Because Dupla wants that, and also Dupla has glitch. So it's both those things.
So you wish to master the void, to bend it to your will.
If such a thing can be done.
In unlimited fashion.
So, you wish me to teach you void magic, reforge a legendary artifact, and craft a dagger. And how much time do you have?
Oh, you know,
15 days.
no more than that.
That is the
Like,
deadline.
Well,
I
It
mean,
must
we
be
have
much
less
less.
we
than
have to
15
get much
days.
less than that
Correct.
because we still have other things to do within these 15 days.
Understood.
Yeah,
You see
I
this.
just look him dead in the one good eye.
He notices now that you can see him plain as day. And you can see he is actually kind of away from this figment that he has conjured, and that is actually not where he stands. And so you're actually looking past the figment. And he looks you with his one decent eye. And you feel this impulse of fear. You don't even have time. You barely have time for one of those things. However, and you can see now a second starlight figure conjures. And a third.
Oh.
And they appear to be figments. It is not the first time such a request has been made. And through the void, time will also be our tool. As long as you are willing to pay the price. And with that, we're going to go to break. What a terrific time we're having. I'm having a great time. My players look like they're completely at ease, so I always like to see that.
Everything's
right.
fine.
Everything,
This is
we're
fine.
doing great.
Hey, maybe it's going to be like paying the price time. It's like Interstellar or whatever. We're going to like age a whole bunch.
Oh, God. Anyway,
Or maybe we'll be young.
Just stress eating tapioca. Don't worry about it.
thank you to everyone who followed. Thank you for the subscriptions from Pyromancer, Crimnut, someone else. Salty. Sorry. Streamlabs doesn't update for me anymore, and I don't know why.
Really? Streamlabs.
It shows me 20 hours ago, Chris Teff donated 100 bits, which I'm super thankful for, but I knew 20 hours ago when it
That's
happened.
right. When it happened, because we were playing.
Because I was alive.
We were present for that.
It
You
was.
were paying attention.
I was trying. All right, folks. We will be back in 15 minutes. We will see how this void story unfolds.
I'm excited.
This will be good.
Yeah, you say that now. We are back. Hi. The Prism here is just, they've made their way to Nighttown. They are talking to the Voidsmith and negotiating some terms. Well, if such a...
And standing in the dark.
Yeah. With
Dancing in
nothing
the dark.
around us whatsoever.
Not a thing.
Alone in the
No.
dark.
It's perfectly okay.
Everything's
Everything
fine.
is fine.
Everything's fine.
Nothing has been more fine ever than it is right now.
Fine.
So as these star-lined figments begin to form, he says, you know, through the void all things are possible, or in the void all things are possible. And he continues to speak. You do not nearly have the time to complete your tasks, but through the void all things are possible. In the void all things are possible.
Mm.
And you can see these are obviously figments. These are not, well, you can. The other, you probably assume that there are 3 people in here now. And they begin to kind of move almost as if they are telling a story. He says, it is true. No. They say that the void cannot be bargained with. And they say it cannot be reasoned with, persuaded, intimidated, or charmed. This is mostly true. But in your travels, I do believe you have met those who have bargained with the void. The gods of the void are not without their preferences. I bargained my life away for power. And you may not be ready to do the same. But you must give something to harness this power. So, I can make you a dagger. I can reforge the Sword of Sorrows. And I can teach you, or both of you, void magic. But you are going to have to give up something. Who is this enemy that you would harness the void power against?
It's twofold, right?
On one hand, we have a Duplicro, ancient black dragon, known as the Unknown.
The ancient unknown.
And on the other, we have Vogesh.
This pit fiend of Voragesh is known to the void. We do not care for his apocalypse, for it does not matter. And we would happily see him slain by this reforger. The dragon, however, we have been interested in him for quite some time.
Interested in what way?
In the most alien and strange ways that your normal mind cannot comprehend.
If you were to try to boil it down to hostile intent or non-hostile intent, is that possible?
The void only knows malevolence.
Okay then. Like a destructing malevolence, or like an absorb and use for your own kind of power malevolence?
There's no reason it cannot be both in the void. The void consumes, and what it consumes, it acquires.
See, this just feels like this,
Provoke.
this just feels a bit like, you know, making one problem different, not gone.
If the terms are not acceptable to you, you can leave.
Just, you know, speaking out loud.
In the void. Speaking out into the void.
Speaking into the void, as it were.
What is the price?
I will teach you void magic. And I will do these things. The price is that when you come up against the ancient and unknown, you defeat her by resurrecting a god of the void. In its wake, in its resurrection, it will tear everything around it asunder.
And this is what you bartered for Cragmandu.
He just gives you like a crooked smile. That and so much more. In its wake, it will take the dragon. The laws of Edda, the laws of the material plane cannot abide the void. They will both be trapped inside the great machine and will become a problem for another day. Eons will pass. The death of the universe itself will arrive before the ancient and unknown becomes a problem again.
She's a citizen of somewhere.
As a solitude.
Yeah, well, at this point, we're beyond that. Do I believe him?
You know what? I'm just going to tell you. Well, believe it. Define believe him. Like, what part
Do
you?
I believe that when he says she and the void creature will both be trapped by the great machine and not be a problem for eons? Do I believe that? What he says?
Go ahead and roll insight.
Really should have put enhance ability on himself before we came into this situation. I don't know why we don't do this. Nope. I mean, I'll tell you just in case.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You never know.
You never know.
I've had people get away with 8s. Characters aren't NPCs.
Well,
aren't
speaking of 8, that's what I've got.
okay.
Yeah.
You believe him.
Yeah. that's
You
what I think.
get the sense that the void doesn't bargain through deception. It is a primal and eternal force that is waiting for the one day that the arresting light fails, and it just comes rushing in and takes the whole universe back again. Or whatever it was, it seems a continuous cycle that has kept Edda up. Before it was, the gods of the primordial, then it was the Dawnmore, and then it was the Sorcerer Kings, and now it's the arresting light. It is waiting for its day when it consumes Edda for all eternity.
And when he says eons, is that like eons to us?
What's the difference?
Because time moves differently with the void. So that's what the difference is.
It's next week.
So is it
So
just
what's the-
eons for the void,
But
but
time
just
is relative.
just a moment for us? Because
I don't know.
like if we're still
You don't
alive
know.
when this is a problem.
You don't know.
I have a question.
He was sorry.
Sorry, what were you saying?
He was conveying it though as though
He's conveying
our
it that way.
lifetimes would pass and more
The
and
heat
more.
death of the universe, yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait for that.
You do get to wait for it.
Oh god.
I have a question.
Yes.
You say that you can teach my friends magic of the void. I have been honing my body and my ki to make myself a powerful weapon. Would it be foolish to have this diamond forged into a blade? Is there something else that could be done?
You hear, when you ask that question, you now realize the zip-zap dagger. Vroom, 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 vroom. And you see skittering along the wall. On the machine! He brings the machine in here. And you, from the back room, you see the lumbering giant. You already possess a very powerful dagger. Fragment of the great machine. Crafted by the primal genitors of old. He holds out a hand. He said, "We could consume it for you. Reshape it into something glorious. I could craft you another, not as glorious. Or I can craft you another ornament. Perhaps you would like some bracers."
I am keenly aware of the machine amulet that I'm wearing underneath my clothes. Just keenly aware of it at this moment.
When you said you warned of the destruction that merging the void diamond with sorrow bringer,
Sort of
sorrow.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Swiss cheese.
Wow, Chase! Wow!
I don't take notes.
Wow.
Actually, I do.
They don't.
I'm just like you look. It's just gibberish. Like I'm not actually typing anything.
You know what? I'm pretty sure that is gibberish. English, shorthand, maybe.
You warned of the destruction that such a weapon could wrought. Is that what would occur if you were to merge a weapon of the machine?
Oh, yes. But let us not, I do not wish to deceive you. The void dagger alone will bring about unimaginable destruction.
And if it were be to be forged into other armaments, you said bracers.
Yes, a defensive tool? Only upon your death would such destruction be wrought.
Oh, he never dies.
Right, yeah, no, totally. Never.
Is such a dagger, if it was forged into a dagger, is that a one-time use item, or is that something?
Its power would carry you through, but there would come a time when you must use, where you must wreak havoc and destruction. Such is the way of the void.
Go for the bracers.
I was kind of thinking about that. I think it'd be pretty cool. Your monk.
I will think upon it while you train my friends. Oh wait, it's all happening simultaneously. God
He just
damn
looks
it.
at you.
God damn it.
You big moron. You big beautiful moron who this void smith has known for almost 20 years. Wait a minute, that's you and me, not him.
More intense.
What was the story I saw the other day? Somebody rolled a nat 20 on a perception check, but there was nothing to perceive in the room. So as like a last minute thing, the DM gave them like the perspective of, you have this weird feeling that you're standing on a table and you can see these giant people rolling these giant pieces of plastic.
Pretty great. Glorious.
And then it all comes back to you. You're just standing in the farmland.
Because there's nothing to see.
That's right.
Literally nothing.
So, I can make you bracers with one.
Bless you.
I can teach you both magic. But understand, the void diamond is required to perform this magic.
I would be
There are no substitutes.
I would be willing to infuse it with my spellbook if possible.
It is a focus item that cannot be replicated.
Perfect.
What's this price that you speak of?
Use the diamond against the unknown.
Okay,
And
just
all-
making sure that that was the extent of the price.
That is the price for you.
And it doesn't. Does it matter where that happens?
No.
We're good. Do it on the moon.
No, you could do it in when we get glitch.
Or there are some other things that we could think about. There are ways we can work on mitigating the damage.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Okay, so am I misunderstanding, or I guess what I'm trying to understand? We could use this void diamond to wreak havoc as it is.
Yes.
Or you're going to teach us to do what exactly? How are we going to mitigate the damage?
I am going to With the simple flick of your wrist, you have some resurrection magic inside of you.
Right.
Without the discipline of the void, cast it now, and watch this whole oblast be torn asunder.
Right. I understand that.
So what I will teach you is that when you resurrect the void creature, you control it ever so slightly. You blast it in a direction.
And there's only so much time that it has to wreak havoc before the machine.
You will be in control.
Okay. And you said that the machine will not abide by it on this plane.
No.
So the two
Yes.
entities will be maintained somewhere.
Correct. Inside the great machine.
Okay. Okay. And how much chaos and malevolence happens in between those two things happening? The resurrection and the containment?
That will depend on your skill.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
Except for void lights.
Just trying to get a handle on exactly what this all means because, lives are at stake, not just ours.
He turns to you, and his grin widens.
Oh boy.
What is the price for repairing an artifact that we shattered?
It is a gift to you.
Ooh. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Here on Droska, good things.
So. Yes.
Two questions,
Yes.
not to drag this out.
I'm not dragging it out.
You seem to be knowledgeable of, and I'll gesture to the dagger on my hip. If I were to restore it, I believe that it is damaged, broken.
Yes. Although it seems to have come a long way. It's awakened, remember. There's one
Indeed.
more step.
Do you know how one would go about fixing it?
If I may. You can see he catches it, but it's digging in his hand. Well, you see from this starlight form from beyond the darkness, you can see blood, and you see purple blood, alien-like blood. And as it squirts out, as he begins to grasp this blade, as this machine weapon fights against his tentacle hand, and you can see this, it's carving into him. Lightning sparking all the while. It appears to have already been touched by the void in some way, and his tentacles grasp it evermore. It wants violence. It wants death. You must find a foe worthy to exalt this weapon. He releases his tentacle hands, and you see them briefly in the starlight fly at you.
Oh
And then they pull back, and you grab the blade. Your greatest kill will awaken the weapon and exalt it.
Understood.
So, we do not have time in this world, but we do have time in another.
Go to the
Oh boy. Oh boy. Gilly's having a nervous breakdown inside.
Alexis is too.
Internally screaming.
Alexis is actually pretty fine with this, but Gilly is not.
So you can see his tentacle kind of start to wrap around him, his tentacle hand.
Huh.
He kind of saunters forward in the starlight. You all can see more of this true form as the light glows. And these figures that were kind of doing this kind of dance and gesturing and this kind of articulation supporting his message have now disappeared, and only he remains. We will journey into the void. We will stand on the precipice of the event horizon of the arrested mind. And we will travel into a temple. The disciples there do not want us there. Not all of us agree how to worship the void. Prepare yourselves for the battle.
Great. Armor of Agathis.
Eons may pass in the void, and yet days here in the material plane. But don't think you can stay there for too long. Every moment that we live in the void, the gods' hunger will grow. The creatures will never stop searching for you. Enemies will surround you, and you cannot survive there for long. It is time for your first lesson. He is going to teach you both a spell.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Bring it.
He is going to teach you the breath of the ever-living ones. This is a spell that allows you, it's basically like water breathing, but for the void. You can cast as a ritual. It is a 4th level spell. Lasts for 24 hours. It's basically like water breathing. It's 24 hours. 4th level though, and it applies to the void. It's called the breath of the ever-living ones.
Pretty hot.
Oh, it gets better.
Because it's back.
Oh no.
You need a void diamond to cast any void magic. You have to be holding one. Arcane focuses don't replace them. So
It does not consume the void diamond.
It
though.
does not. Nope.
Okay, just
Not this void spell.
neat.
I'll put this stuff on the D&D Beyond later. I haven't
Oh,
migrated
boy.
them yet.
I'm so excited.
Let me get my void notes. Hey, did you all know that I was working on void spells on Mats in the Machine?
No, yep.
Yep. Keenly aware of that.
Hey, look, void magic.
Nice.
Hey, you helped me design some of them.
I did, yeah.
Like,
That's a thing.
Catastrophic entropic failure.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, I heard this one.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that was totally my idea. You're welcome. We're all welcome.
I had an idea after I was watching you on Mats and the Machine. You should name one of them for whom the void
Tolls.
tolls.
For whom the void tells. That's
You were
good.
looking for poetic names
Yeah.
for your void magic, and I mean, what's more poetic than the existentialism that is?
Hell yeah.
You should also
Hemingway.
pay a lot of attention to like Black Sabbath because they have a song called Into the Void. Just go listen to that like on repeat.
Cool.
It's great.
Mhm.
Do it.
So, which one of you would like to cast this spell?
I'll do it.
As a
Okay.
ritual?
Yes.
If I'm gonna see you do this, I'm gonna give you guidance.
So, as you grapple the thing of, I believe it was like Ankulawan was the voidling, and you channel your power, and you can hear this creature speak to you. So Velius. You conjure all the line. You speak fragments of void speech in your arcane writ. And there's this kind of motes of starlight that go, and they bead themselves deep inside of your chests. You can all now exist and live and survive in the void for 24 hours. A true void.
Would I have died if I were in the void without?
Yeah, it's not so much the breathing; it's the extreme, temperature.
you're like in
you're in
I get
space
you.
basically.
Yeah.
You're magic space, but space on.
Closest to absolute zero that you get.
Yep.
Got it.
Before we really go anywhere, do you know why the void and these creatures what they want with Sevelius?
That is a price you did not pay for, and therefore I will not be sharing that information.
Fair enough.
Okay.
It was worth asking.
Maybe we
I'm
unleash
sure
another
we'll
void.
find out in time. The more I know about the void, the more I can learn to handle it. The more I can dig into its secrets.
Yeah.
You know, they displaced your entire peoples.
I'm
So-
aware. And
You seem really, really nonchalant about this whole thing,
Gotta
Running-
considering.
running from it did not work for them because it's still coming. So the best thing I can do right now is
I guess
try to
that's-
understand it, to try to figure out how to stop it.
fight fire
I
with
guess
fire.
that makes sense.
Fight void with void.
If I can understand how it works, how it operates,
Fight void with
I might
void.
have a way to stop it.
Okay.
And if it
Negative
helps
void.
us with our other issues, then so be it. Just, if I can stop it from coming here, that's all that matters.
Maybe we make an anti-void. Devoid.
Wow.
Nice.
I have a recommendation between, oh wait, actually. The robe of stars, since we're not going to be on this plane,
Mm-hmm.
if we have time for me to attune to the other, to the robe of stars, I will do that.
You're not okay. You're gonna attune to the robe. You're going to attune to the robe of stars.
I realize I probably could have done that while we were in Droska because...
Yeah.
Yep, so I would have attuned to that instead of the ivory cloak of protection because it's the same thing but plus stuff.
It's quite a bit better.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful item.
So, that is, yep. Just what I'm doing.
All right. You've read the robe of stars' entire description, even the bit at the bottom.
The man added on, seemed like if entering the
Oh,
void
the-
with this,
the-
you are consumed.
Yeah, I read that originally. I'm rereading it now.
Always the fine print.
Just something to keep in mind for your adventures.
Right.
All right, so you adorn Morgan's robe of stars, one of the most powerful items y'all have ever come across.
Yep.
And yeah, it fits nicely. You look great in it. Robe of stars into the void. Here we go, folks.
That's right.
If there is nothing further, we shall begin our journey to the summit of the void.
I am ready.
I will draw my sword. We're ready to go.
We all have our 16 10 hit points. So
Oh, you did that for
Should
us
we?
again?
Are there any potions
Well, I mean-
of resistance?
Is there void potion resistance we could...
Let's
Oh, that's
let's
right.
call
Then
it.
it,
Fucking the
Call
doorknob.
it the narrative. Yeah, just.
do you need me to do another speech or are we good?
Yeah, so you're fine. 16.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you make a perception check? Can I investigate? You just hold the narrative. All right, so he begins to chant in void speech, which you understand very, very little of. And a door of starlight forms. And you see it form solid light. And then it falls. When it does, you just hear a howling, sucking noise. He just steps in.
I'm not going to be able to see everything this time.
Yep. You see he puts on like a little what do you call it, saraf or whatever, a wrap,
Oh.
and he steps in, covers his mouth. Trust nothing, not even me. And he steps in.
Can I see the door of starlight in the magical darkness that I'm
You
standing
can.
in?
Yep, you can.
Okay.
The
That's all
visuals-
you can see.
The visual's so cool. I'm picturing it. It's all white and black.
And then it falls open into a screaming void.
Then I'm gonna cast guidance on myself and fall in.
Here we go. Take a step forward.
Cannonball.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm going.
And you all begin to fall. It has been a time since you have fallen into the void, and you fall what seems like forever.
Hello, darkness, my old
As you do, you look around you and you can see an everlasting expanse of the supermassive black hole, essentially magical equivalent of that is the void. And you can see this tiny ball of light in the distance, of all shapes and colors and fixture. And it has these interconnecting pieces of light that separate all the different fragments and all the different colors. You can see all the dimensions of reality before you. You fall away from it. Just the material world of that. You keep falling and you are approaching this edge of the supermassive black hole, and you can see it, your vision is obviously not operating normally. You're seeing beyond sight. You're having this moment. And you see other planets and other worlds. But they are not protected by light. And many of them are dead. You can see carved out civilizations that were once stood proud, that are ruined to dust. You see gas giants that have been crystallized and hardened and now just float in space. You see one planet which seems to have a face on it that is just has the expression of the dead. You fall and you just land. You look around you and you can hear just a all around you as you seem to be standing at the precipice of some insane celestial object. And it shimmers all around you, and as you look around at each other, all to kind of gather your surroundings, the world around you flies away, and you can see one another, but you don't just see one another, you see thousands of you. Multivariate versions with different complexions, different personalities, different adornments, different physical structure, body, makeup, all the while. And that is what you see as you stand on the precipice of this endless void. You see the Voidsmith lands, and he pulls out a staff, and he clicks him on, and he speaks, and all 1,000 of their voices speak out, and you hear in all 1,000 of in your receptacles. We have to press on. We have to push forward. This is the worst of it. On this side, and he pushes on into this black hole.
This is
But can we trust him?
He said not to.
Stabbing. I will follow. This is so cool.
Same.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
One by one, you press on, and you pass through many different realities simultaneously, many different visions, many different sights, and eventually your feet, you press on. Actually, I need everyone to make me wisdom saving throws.
Fuck me.
Rip.
Right?
Get some mechanics up in here.
This one. Yeah! Alright!
Is this a charm effect?
No.
Is it
It's
a
a-
fear?
It is a fear effect.
Oh, I get advantage. Hey!
15.
Okay.
22, but I can't be feared by things.
Elementals and Fae, which these are not.
Yeah,
You're
right.
good. You're good at 22. You're even good at 15.
I think the gods.
I had a 16.
You're good.
6. I rolled in that one.
Oh no. Buddy.
You don't have any advantage to fear as an elf?
I mean,
have
he probably
advantage
is
to
more afraid of
charm.
the void.
Oh, got it. That's right.
Yep.
Oh.
These faces, man.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh.
So you all are beginning to press on, and you
But-
have to trust just the very notion, the very hubris of your journey as you pass in and begin to push yourselves into this supermassive black hole, as you begin to push against the very forces of creation and time and entropy. Sevilius,
Welcome to space madness.
it's a little too much for you, and you succumb to insanity.
Yep.
You are no longer trusting of the journey. You do not believe it can be possibly successful, and you have every impulse to abandon your quest. Okay.
Oh boy.
Would
Oh,
this be
no.
considered a curse?
It is not.
So we're in the middle of pushing through that.
Yeah, you're pushing through infinite density.
So
You're not even sure if you've moved.
I will hesitate, and I will take a step back.
Alrighty. As you do, you find yourself, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. You find yourself, you have not moved a single inch in your madness and insanity, and you begin to fall away.
13.
You catch yourself as you fall at the edge of this ever-expansive black hole, and you are basically grabbing on to nothing, and you are about to fall into more nothing. You're not sure what it means.
We need to go back. We can't do this.
I'm gonna.
Why?
It's everywhere. It's too much. It's too large. It's too big.
Teleport over to him, and I'm gonna try to pull him up if I can.
So you see all 1,000 justices lean down and attempt to grab all thousands of you, but you know that the journey is folly, and you know that he cannot be trusted.
I will try to. If I'll let go, and I will fall, and I will cast Featherfall on myself, hoping to float back to reality.
Okay.
As he grabbed, I would have reached back, and I packed Greater Restoration on purpose.
Okay.
Even if it does nothing. Maybe the magic of Marissa and the old will give him trust in me.
So I need you to roll initiative, and I need you to roll initiative. This is an ability contest to see who can do it quicker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh no.
He rolled pretty shit.
Hang on.
So
13.
5.
Yeah.
I rolled a
okay.
2.
So
Okay.
you kind of see this look of fear in Sibelius's eye, a look that you've seen at least in a few people before in your life, and you were briefly brought back to the time in the caves when madness took some of you, and you very quickly reach out and cast Greater Restoration. So Sibelius, you feel and there's a shattering across your eyes, and your sanity is restored.
Oh my god!
I will hold his hand.
Help! Now I'll try to pull myself up with help.
So you will be inured to the effects. So you've all saved. You have failed but now been restored. You all gather there for a moment at the precipice of this super density, and you look forward, and you don't see the Voidsmith. They seem to have pressed on without you.
We need to catch up.
I'm sorry. I lost myself.
We move.
Let's go.
We move forward together.
Right.
Hold hands.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So you all begin to hold hands.
Yeah. All thousands of us holding all thousands of each other's
Who's at the
hands.
rear?
Please not me.
I'll probably be at the rear.
You're at the rear.
I want to be in the middle.
I'll be at the front.
So at this edge, before you press on into the super density, Gilly, you do see just for a brief moment out there in the endless void of starlight and space and the dead planets and everything, you see what others don't see, which is life forms of unimaginable size swimming around in the void. Titans, draconic in nature. You see creatures that are just eyes, unending. You see one creature entirely made of spiraling teeth, holding in and out.
Oh no.
Yep, definitely in the middle.
Terrible dentist.
And when the eye Leviathan notices you noticing them,
Oh no. Oh no.
they start to spin like a planetoid-sized creature and begin to go towards you.
Go faster! Get me out of here.
Alrighty, I need everyone to make survival checks
Oh,
as you
fuck
press
me.
on into the super density.
It's just getting worse and worse in here.
Oh, I probably should have used my guidance on
That's
something.
cocked.
It's okay. Can I still use my guidance? No, maybe.
Yeah. Oh well, yes, you can. Yes, yeah, you can. Before you press on into the super density, you say a quick prayer.
11.
Okay, great. 7.
16! Oh my god!
That is a failure. You press on into the super density, but I'm afraid that the strength and the perseverance and the madness is just too much for you all to bear, and you are becoming tired very quickly.
I am going to link their two hands together and stick myself at the back.
Okay.
Without losing hold of anybody, stick my hand in the bag and pull out the silver compass.
Wow.
You pull out the silver compass that was given to you by the parents of Gilly, and you see it just shine very, very brightly. And it just keeps shining.
Oh.
And a mote of starlight begins to emerge from it.
Oh no.
And I'm going to think of the Voidsmith very clearly.
And there's a...
Fuck.
You all gain advantage on wisdom checks and saving throws for the next 24 hours.
Wisdom checks and saving throws?
Yep.
Wow.
Hey!
So,
Mother-in-law.
is it pointing me in a direction?
Well, you look down, all 1,000 of you at once, and there are many directions to go, and you just have to try again.
Alrighty.
Forward.
Survival checks with advantage.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Hope everyone's enjoying this tonight.
Would disguise be more appropriate?
I will kill you, you doorknob, motherfucker. Quit fucking the doorknob.
And I will give guidance to Sevelius, who's
Alright.
right next to me and who I'm holding onto, so it's the only one I can give guidance to.
Perfect. Heard and understood. You get a D4, civilians.
Listen, I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Damn
Which
good.
means a total of 4.
26.
1 success.
15.
1 success.
22.
3 successes. It's majority success.
Oh, thank God.
So gravity is intense, and you are just pushing on through this insane construct, and you are pressing. And as you get deeper and deeper, guided by this silver light that seems to be shining all around you, but is distorted, you there's a break, and 1,000 life forms leave you, and now it's just you.
Is
That
everybody
was
here?
handy.
As you go to speak, you hear nothing.
Oh, neat.
You understand nothing. Well, you can't speak and you can't hear. The is replaced by pure silence. Are you?
Shit.
Yeah, look around and see if there's anything.
Roll perception, which you have advantage on.
We're so fucked.
16. You look around, and you are in the middle of nothing. There's no stars. There's no space. There is only your 4 figures standing in a great and endless void. There's no sound. You can feel, you still have your senses of touch, and you can feel that you are standing on like an endless black lake of water. But it seems to be sheer and being held down by something. You kind of press your toe in, and it's like you feel the surface of this lake, the bottom of it. But when you look down, it's so much deeper. You know, you have so much further to go.
And then I will drop or push myself through the surface tension.
Need you? Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
I mean,
Make-
we're all still holding hands.
Yep. Go ahead and make a. I'm gonna say first make a strength saving throw.
Okay. That is a 15 on the dice, so 14.
You press on and you get pretty far, and then there's this kind of, and you fly. So you see him dig in and begin to swim, and there's a boom, and he just boom, slings up up. You go at least 100 feet in the blink of an eye.
Does he come back down?
Do I fall? I just
You keep going, another 100 feet.
All right, guys, let's jump on this, and I'm gonna use it like a trampoline.
So you
Oh no.
you fly 100 feet up, 100 feet up, 100 feet up.
I have a robe.
Yeah.
I have things that let me fly, so I'll try to fly after him.
Yeah, you can actually go faster than 100 feet around.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I guess I'm just standing here terrified.
if this isn't the direction to go, at least I can try to stop them.
Right.
You know.
So you are able to catch up with them, and you see as you are flying away from this black lake that you fear you may have gone in the wrong direction as they are hurled up and up and up, and they begin to curve around towards the eye Leviathan, towards the dead planets.
So I'm trying to
Oh,
catch up to
no.
him because I have my winged boots on.
Okay, so you propel yourself forward past your velocity, and you are able to catch onto his legs just as Justice is actually like a bullet flying up past you, and you both arrive at Sylvius at the same time.
Okay, good.
You stop, and you guys see this kind of massive force. You're in some kind of weird dome bubble thing at this point, and you see some kind of massive force pressing in, and you can see the outlines of thousands and thousands of eyes.
Oh my god.
Swim back down towards. Fly back down.
Well, I'm
towards
up
the
this
boat.
high. Can I see anything?
You see what I described
Okay.
before.
Not much else.
I point back down towards Gilly.
Oh yeah, no.
So you guys begin to fly down, and you
Controlled so he doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
take damage.
and you land on the gravel lake. You know you have to go down.
How could we, I'm not very strong at all at this strength. Wait a minute, I have an idea.
Try to control water.
Okay.
With the staff.
Yep.
You pull out the clutch of the Elder Gods. There is no sound. You cannot cast spells with a verbal component, but staves allow you to ignore components.
I can.
And you, because you can't speak to one another and there's no sound, you can't cast spells, thunder damage, it's basically a silent spell. And you touch the staff. You conjure in on the squirm of the abyssal tide this elder god, Cryonax, a tentacled monstrosity. And the water, the gravel lake parts. You fight against an unimaginable force of strength and power, but you are wielding an artifact. And you command this water. Mark off 4 charges.
We still need to fix it in D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay, I gotta get up to 10, don't I?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll keep track.
We go into the Moses parted lake.
You can't speak to one another.
Right.
So as it parts, I'm going to walk forward and wait for them to join me so that is whatever part I managed to making, they are within that sphere
Yes.
so that they don't get
Hmm?
boing.
So you all look as she does this, and you can't speak to one another. You can't even use message because it requires a verbal component. And you just trust these gravel-like stairs that you're forming with your control water lead you to the right direction. You descended.
We're just stress eating tapioca again, don't mind me.
All right. As you venture forward and into the lake, you do see that there is this kind of water all around you, although it is black as midnight. But as you descend into this lake, your dark vision, whoosh, you can see. You're past magical darkness.
Oh, good.
So you're no longer blind.
Wonderful.
Can we hear anything?
Not yet. And so this water is tight, like a trampoline. It's screened almost and being separated in these tiny little bubbles, and you can see the life forms that are living inside of this lake. They go beyond common description. They are twisted. They are even more strange and abnormal than the void. You see a creature of books that is just kind of fluttering about. And you see it eat another creature. Just take it. They're all pressing in on the water, trying to get to you, but they cannot. You descend down. Need everyone to make intelligence saving throws.
My god.
You know what would be really awesome, Matt?
Oh,
Having
here we go.
advantage on all saves.
Yep.
Is this an illusion or a fear or a
It
charm
is a
effect?
fear. All these things. Sorry. So thank you for asking. These are fear. This is fear, but they're not from Fey or elementals.
That's fine.
I will say this one's from Elemental. This is close enough.
Good. I
Void.
rolled poorly.
Okay, yeah, you're immune. So that's one success.
15.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're proficient.
Oh, +6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
was
was a
like,
9.
I'm like looking. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, wait, you're
Yeah.
a rogue
Yeah.
at level 1. You are a rogue.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
20.
Advantage helps.
So all you are good, and because you don't know what it is, but you can feel this thing, this essence and this energy pressing in on your mind, trying to rob you of the sight that you were just given. You can see your eyes start to feel heavy, and they start to. You can feel your eyes. I'm gonna say this. Start to sprout legs and try to push out of your. But they stay in.
Get back in there, you green little emeralds.
Oh my god.
You.
Thanks for the nightmares.
I'm sorry.
This is what you wanted, Rob. Tentacles coming out of your eyes.
Rassic one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You do eventually arrive. You press on through this gravel lake, and you do eventually arrive at the bottom of it, and through, and you arrive at a door to a temple.
I'm so excited. This is the best. What does the door look like?
It bears the visage of a void god, just tentacles endless, and in the center a single eye.
Is it still silent around us?
Is it still silent around you as you approach this, and you can hear again?
Oh good. So I realize
Wait.
I have like only counterspell that doesn't require anything verbal.
You can feel this. You're not sure what it is, but you can feel this kind of movement in your inner ear. Something's been restored.
So do we?
So
No.
I'm going to Helm of Comprehend Languages while I'm holding the water at bay.
Okay. You're gonna try to understand the void speech with comprehend languages.
Good.
This
Good
is
luck.
going to end poorly, but unless I will try to open the door, and if the door doesn't open, I will try to read it.
Okay.
But only if it doesn't open.
You do try to open the door and it does not open.
We can talk again.
Let's read it.
Oh no.
And you need to make this is void, so wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Okay.
Because
Oh boy.
Hello, darkness,
boy.
my old friend.
Alrighty. That is a
Come to comprehend you again.
13.
Oh no.
Yep, this is going to end poorly. I rolled a 3 and a 5. Yeah, that says
No.
3, right?
Oh no.
That is a 3, yeah. That's
Yeah,
3.
that's a 3 and a 5.
That's not a 30-sided dice, is it?
No.
Alrighty. So you take 42 points of necrotic damage.
No!
However,
Oh boy.
you do gain the glimpse of a single word, a void word. Might be enough.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead.
Did you want to heal first?
It's probably a wise choice. Hang on. Did I pack that?
I'm gonna tell you all guys something at the end of this episode.
Oh boy.
I'm excited. This is the best. It's like
Okay.
annihilation.
Alright. Are you still attuned to the staff?
I am.
Wouldn't it be great right now if you could share a moment of intimacy and gain a short rest?
Wouldn't it though?
Huh.
Has it been implemented yet?
You know what, Matt? You're the DM.
I can't have
Can
a
I
moment
talk
of
it out
intimacy
of,
with my eye
I can
leg
cast,
eye.
It's a triggered thing.
Two
It's not a
cure
something you
wounds.
declare.
Because I only packed Healing Word and Greater Restoration.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are a D8, right? And you can
Yeah.
only cast it at first level.
So you can cast it as many charges as you
Right.
have.
So,
So
and it uses. So this will use my my charisma modifier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your staff, yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna start with 12
perfect.
for one charge. That's cocked.
That's smart. You get the modifier every time you cast it. If you cast it
Right.
at a higher level, you only get it once.
Uh,
That's smart
and
downtime
8.
healing. Wow.
So
Okay.
I don't think I ever
Band.
thought of that before.
That's really clever.
Oh, I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah,
Why do you think
I
I
haven't
only
played
ever?
healer a lot.
Why do you think I only really ever cast healing word at first level?
Right. I never really. I don't play healer
Because,
enough
yeah.
to think about it, and
Yeah,
especially in downtime.
That's why I do that. Yeah.
All right then. Moving on.
Anyway, so
How you doing?
I will probably survive saying this word.
No, you
You
won't.
can
I'll
always
give you
look at
one
the overlay. That's rules legal.
I'll give you one more. Take another 11.
I can't even heal 11.
Oh,
Overhealing.
okay.
Yeah.
Overhealing.
I only
Overhealing.
had
Quit padding your
16.
meters.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's
Sorry.
okay. It's good.
Circa 2007 WoW jokes. You speak this word. We will not profane the glorious speech of the void with our mortal tongues. We will only imagine what a word of void speech sounds like when
boy.
spoken in its true form in the depths of the void itself.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like to all of you and you at home, she speaks it French.
Stop it.
And there's a
Stop.
beam of starlight. And the door opens.
Oh boy.
Sophia,
Buddy.
Justice,
Oh.
Selena,
Oh no.
Gilly,
He whispers back to the void. Oh.
I will wait for you guys to go through the door because I'm holding the water still.
So I can lead unless you want to stealth ahead.
You go for it. You've been doing great all this
So I
time.
will. With my sword, I'll walk forward. I'm assuming this is the temple that we talked about. So
you can only hope.
prepare for battle.
We've gone completely the wrong way.
Should have turned left.
Yeah.
Choices.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm walking in.
Welcome to the bottom of every game forever.
Alrighty. You enter into the Temple of Void, and this is a site that you have seen before, not exactly, but a similar make. This is a temple that has fallen into disrepair. Before the stream, when you were teleported into the Void, you did fight in a Void temple that was flying through space.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
And
Oh boy.
I rolled very poorly on religion checks on how to use the pools to get us out.
Yeah. And you,
I did.
the site you see before you are all the various statues of the gods of the Void. These kind of formless robed figures. You can only imagine what lies behind their forms. And you see what you see. You see the different reflection pools. You see the temples. You see the great space in the middle, the rubble, fallen disrepair of these obsidian and stone structures. You do see at least 3 figures in here. 2 of them are, we'll say, genderless forms with eyes absent. They have no eyes, and they have these kind of dark streaks instead of hair, and they wear very plainly colored tan robes, hoods over them, and they seem to be in meditation as they levitate, but they do know that you're there. The figure in the middle has no teeth, he has no eyes, he barely has ears, and he has no hair, and he does not even have the coloration of the void. He is just a pale, almost vampiric looking figure. And he has a void in his chest. Some kind of black hole, self-contained in him. And he speaks. Sophia. He floats up. You all enter the temple.
Shut the door behind us. Let the control water drop.
Oh, thank you, Legends of Adventures, for the raid! We love you! Oh,
That's so
that means
awesome.
everything. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Lone Guard. Oh, y'all are the best. We love you pieces. We are in the void.
We're in the void.
in a void
Yeah.
temple.
Making 4 decisions.
It's terrifying.
Where they just pass through a gravel lake through a super density. Shit's getting wild up in here.
Yeah, it is.
It's so good to see you all, and I hope you had a wonderful stream on Adventures
Yes.
Prime. Check out Legends of Adventures if you haven't already.
Yes.
Very good.
Woo!
Super massive
We
black.
do.
So this kind of void vampiric-like figure in tattered robes with no eyes, barely a mouth, and a black hole in his chest that he flies forward. It has been eons, unending. Long we have waited for you.
If he reaches out to touch, I'll take a step back.
He's
Okay, good.
70 feet away.
Just
Quick
stay
question.
way over there.
The like remnants of ears that I'm seeing, they look elvish
Roll perception.
with advantage because of the.
No.
I was afraid to
Yep,
ask that
advantage,
question.
yep.
Yeah.
That's for 24 hours, I think.
Oh, is
So-
it?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Well, it's for now, at least. that silver compass is... Thank you, the Nordic Geek, for the follow. Woo, woo, woo!
16.
16.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
elven.
Yep.
Is this your daddy?
Let's not go crazy.
Yeah. No, that would be nuts.
Let's
but,
not rule it out.
Am I being crazy now?
Why do you do this?
You signed up for it.
You've seen what he's put me through already.
Yep.
And
And this is
Selena.
what you get trying to have a wholesome home.
Correct.
That's right.
Thank you, Zeke. 640 for the follow.
Thank you.
Gotta give it up, as they say. We still haven't come up with our own phrase.
We're gonna howl like wolves.
Oh, no.
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 Let's
That was
I
not
hold
something we
hands. That's
agreed
what I
upon.
do. Thank you.
You have come home to us. I've longed to see your face.
Don't remember you at all.
Nor would you. But I've watched you for some time. You are the son of sons, the princes of princes. You are the chosen.
Oh no. We haven't chosen.
Chosen by who? The Void? Or you are no longer elven, from what I can tell.
By your people. It was you who would ascend the throne.
Is it hot?
I mean, Solimar was supposed to ascend the throne.
Yes,
Naturally.
He's potentially still alive,
but you would be the Vizier King in his stead.
if need be.
Yes.
But things are, if you can see me, you understand how the world is out there.
Yeah.
Things are not as open to that anymore.
No. Much has changed.
Yeah. You could say that.
Our people lost everything to the void.
Yeah.
Everything we knew. But we gained so much more.
There it is.
You can see
Down.
tendrils unending
Mm.
stretch out from his back as his robe begins to discombobulate, disconfigure.
I mean, you
Thousands of tendrils start to not reach out, but just kind of flow
you've still
around.
lost who you are, who you were.
Yes. I was once like you. An Anastasia of old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I call for you.
Yep.
I've brought you here.
Yep.
So that you may fulfill a purpose.
My purpose may be different than the purpose you intend for me.
I don't think it is. You only have one task left to complete in your long road of destiny.
What might that be?
Reclaim the blade of the Vizier. He smiles, and there are no teeth accompanying this grin, but as he does, you can see a collapsing galaxy in his mouth.
Amazing.
I don't understand how that helps you if you're here in the void. Lost.
An ancient, powerful curse has been placed on the blade of the Vizier.
Huh.
To complete it, you only need to reclaim it.
I mean, why would I want to complete a curse?
Are we the baddies?
To bring the people of Kishari to justice.
Consuming them in the void is not justice. It is death. Consumes all that is light and good in the world. Takes away free will.
Who said anything about the void? You see the two that are meditating kind of turn.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did we see the Void Smith anywhere?
When you looked around, you didn't see him yet.
Okay.
He will say, he will say, you misunderstand me.
Well then, please explain yourself a little better.
The void comes regardless.
But it can be held at bay.
Yes, it can. By the arresting light.
Correct.
And by other forces. I haven't brought you here. Allow me to speak more clearly, because I may have misspoken in my excitement. I did not bring you here so that you could reclaim the blade of the Vizier. I brought you here so you would know not to reclaim it, but to surrender it to the void.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be something that happens. Why would I surrender anything to the void? You destroyed my homeland, forced my people to flee into a world they were not welcome in.
Once you place your hand on the blade, their blood moon will be complete. Their ritual will be complete. And the fading power of the arresting light will be replaced by the power of hell.
A wise man once told me when we walked in here not to trust anyone. And I certainly don't trust you.
The power of hell is strong enough to keep the void out. The arresting light is no longer strong enough.
Then we will have to find some other way to strengthen it. Because resorting to the power of hell is no different than resorting to letting the void take over Kashara.
So you will not surrender the blade of the Vizier to the void.
No. Nor will I help complete this hellish ritual or whatever.
Disappointing.
Oh no.
He flies up, and as he does, you can see the void behind him, galaxies unending, start to twist and turn and flare up. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah, there it is. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where's I? Ah! Okay. Nope. Nope.
Sure.
This is okay. This is fine.
Sure.
It's
initiative
fine.
is noticeable.
This is fine.
Why does your family always try to kill us?
Yeah. What is
Left
this?
and right.
Silius?
Oh, I should probably write these down as I roll them.
Probably.
Life moves on, doesn't it? That was
An area light.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good grief. I'm out of tapioca to stress eat. This is a problem.
Oh wow, eat shit.
Try eating your ear.
That's insane.
That's really gross.
That's a natural one.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not a thing I'm doing.
I knew somebody that had that compulsion. Oh.
Is it alopecia?
25,
That's
20.
not alopecia. No.
Oh, that's when you.
20, please.
Well, at least somebody's up there.
2015.
18.
15, 10.
12.
Oh no.
Gilly.
8.
What's your dex mod?
It's a +2.
Okay. For...
Oh boy.
Top of the round, Selena. 1 second. Oh, probably be good if I had you all on the freaking thing.
Line it up, babe.
Oh, Dryden's not here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, so there is one meditator here, and this ain't void elf is here. Y'all are down here.
And
Okay.
those are 20 feet levels.
Yep, 20 feet between them. 20
Got
and
it.
20.
How's the weather in here?
Voidy.
Voidy.
40.
Yeah.
Large enough for some clouds?
Oh yeah, you're in an endless expanse of forever. It's large enough for a couple of clouds.
Hold for 1 second here. I have to read some verbiage.
Verbage.
Whenever you hit it with an attack. Okay, so as a bonus action, we're gonna hit Batty Elf in the middle,
Yeah,
as long as he is within 90 feet of me,
he is.
with Hex.
Okay.
Oh fuck, that's
Concentration.
concentration.
What do you wish to do?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and hit him with Hex.
Okay, bonus action. Shadows coalesce around him. Green flamed necrotic energy.
Okay. Let's see. 10 minus 4, so that's still at 6. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move up as far as I can move.
Okay.
And remember, I've got winged boots, so if anything has
non-clip.
holes.
So you can move 30 feet.
Okay.
So you just fly up in the middle.
I'm trying to get within 30 feet of these guys so I can Agonarzar's Scorcher Ray between them.
It's a line, so it's unlikely you can do
So
that.
it's just the two that I'm trying to hit.
Oh, you like fly that way, like main guy and the other guy. Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh, does it
it's
come
a line.
from me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like a wall
Oh.
line. Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
not like Scorching Ray with hits multiple targets.
So you were here. So you.
So
can-
I thought I could create a wall just
No,
anywhere
no.
as long as it
Nope.
was just no. Okay, great. Then I would if the guy in front of me is within 60 feet, I think I can hit him with a line of just him, the guy that I just hexed.
Okay, then you're good. You're floating there. We'll say.
Perfect. Then I will hit him.
All right. With Agonars.
Yes, please. Dex save.
Dex save. Let me check something. Does not have magical resistance. They fail.
Nice.
All right.
14 total.
Alrighty. So that is 16 points of fire damage.
The fire scorches out. How much?
Is that considered an attack? Because then
It's
I can
n-
add a 1. No.
It's not. It's a saving throw.
Yeah. So 16 points of fire damage.
Okay. So the fire does seem to do full damage. Is that your turn?
So that was my action. That's my bonus action. That's my movement. Yes.
All right. Justice.
Let me verify one tiny thing. I was just getting my distance figured out. Okay. I will.
He's 80 feet away.
He's 80 feet away from me. Yep. So
Not good.
Not great.
Yeah, really far away.
I'm too far. I can't spell anything. You can just barely counterspell these two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fly forward. I'm gonna move forward my full speed. I can move 50 feet. I'm 80 feet away, so it'd be 30 feet away from him if I do that. Screw it. I'm going to use my boots to teleport adjacent to him with my 90-foot teleport.
Yeah, okay. With your bonus actions?
Yep,
Nice.
so I'm right
Oh,
by him,
boy.
and now all my attacks have advantage because I'm going before him,
Yes.
and my assassinate feature. So I'm going to make
Advantage, but not crits.
and I have the zip zap dagger, this great machine dagger that I'm attacking the void creature
Yeah.
with. That's a nat 20 on the first attack with sneak attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, this is a good way to start.
So that's going to be your weapon and your lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sneak attack.
Yep, and sneak attack. But not the additional necrotic, not the additional lightning from the boots, because those are unarmed.
Correct.
This is going to take a while.
So that's 10. $32 points of damage for the first hit, and stunning strike.
Which one did you come up behind?
The dude that you attacked.
Perfect.
1 second. How much damage?
32.
Thank God for Roll20 doing math for me. Okay, so you stunning strike.
Mm-hmm. Here's a key point.
Okay. He's going to use 1 legendary resistance to automatically save.
Okay. Second attack. That is a 26 to attack.
That hits.
$13 points of damage.
Yeah. That's second dagger attack. Yeah.
Yep, and stunning strike.
Okay. 16.
Makes it. And then I already used my bonus action, but I think I can't do any flurry blows. Yeah, because that was my bonus action, my move, and my attacks. That's it.
Is that your turn? Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn, he's going to use 3 of his legendary actions to cast a spell. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw. He touches you. Uh-oh. He's going to cast Catastrophic Entropic Failure.
23.
You successfully make it. He brushes a single hand against you, and you feel yourself start to duplicate. And the void starts to split you in two, and you can feel that this creature is not friendly. In fact, it is pure malevolence, and it was going to drain you of your resources and use your life force against you. But not a thing happens, and you're good.
Good lord.
Oh my god.
Sevilius, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I have a question for Gilly.
Yeah, what's that?
So I'll turn it back. Do you want to get closer?
Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. How much closer?
Very.
Good.
Nope.
Alright. I Blade Song, and then I Dimension Door next to him.
Okay.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. You can't fly, so you land on the top of the ground. That is your turn.
Thanks for asking, though.
Sligthar's turn. Sligthar, you are all two.
You mind if I'm going to put myself up on the thing?
Well, I don't know what that means, but go for it, man. Cool.
Oh, I'm all by myself.
Alright, so Sligthar is going to begin to cast a spell. You can see they are blind, but they just kind of turn to you as they meditate, and they cast a spell in your direction.
Do I recognize said spell or anything?
They are casting Final Vestige of the Fading Sun. You know that spell?
I don't.
Counterspell.
But I was asking for...
I'm within range to counterspell that one. I'm going to counterspell.
Alright, it fizzles.
Okay. That was, yeah, because I was Sligthar. I'm exactly 60 feet away.
Hey, thanks. I think thanks for the bits, Granite.
Oh,
Granite.
Thank you, Barnett.
Love you.
That's awesome.
You.
He's riveted.
Sligthar.
Yeah.
Really? Thank
Yes.
you. I'm gonna be honest. I've improv 90% of this. Gilly
Yeah.
It's all good.
didn't feel like prepping.
I haven't prepped anything in months.
Prep is overrated.
You're saying Gilly as in Gilly's turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were targeting me for
Gilly, you're
something.
dead.
Yeah, well, you know.
Moving on.
Par for the course.
102
Disintegrate.
points of damage.
Okay, so y'all have moved right up in there. So, things that I was thinking about doing, not gonna do. I am going to, bonus action, put Cloaky out to grapple me, because I can't fly without Cloaky.
Okay.
So, I will put Cloaky out after I move myself.
19. Cloaky in there, bro.
So I'll move myself up, and then I will put Cloaky out to grapple me.
Okay.
Because I think now I'm
She
close
is
enough,
home, bro.
right? I want to be no. Okay.
65 feet.
So yeah, I want Cloaky to bring me up closer so I can
All right, on his-
counterspell range.
On his turn, he will do that.
Because this is a platform in the middle, right?
It's 20 feet now.
20 feet down.
If
Well,
you mean
40
this
feet.
space. Yeah.
So
20,
I
20.
could, with the rest of my movement, I could have moved like, jump down here.
You can attempt to jump 20 feet down, yeah. You will need to make a dexterity saving throw. It's a 20-foot fall.
Okay. I'll just stick there, and I'll let Cloaky deal with it.
Okay.
And how much damage did I see Justice really dish out?
A good amount.
How rough does that guy look?
Not
that
rough.
thing? Cool.
Thank you for the follow, Lone Guard.
Thank you.
Lone Guard's a great supporter of Lives of Adventures.
Nice.
Cool
Thank
person.
you. I am going to
Oh,
cast.
What
I
are you doing?
believe, hang on, I'm making sure. Yeah, no, that's 30 feet. So I'm gonna wait on that. But I will be casting. Screw it. I'm gonna put 6 charges from magic missile straight at that thing.
Okay. At what thing?
The main baddie.
Okay. The Anastasia, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing that is trying to attack and kill civilians. 2, 3, 4.
My corrupted ancestor.
6, 7, 8 D4.
They are going
Okay.
to, with their reaction, cast shield.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not gonna. You could counterspell that.
He already counterspelled.
I did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
She did.
Yeah.
I could counterspell, which I will.
Okay.
Yes.
So how much force damage?
I do. Let's see. I'm counting it up. 10. Wow. Okay. 28 points of force damage.
That your turn?
Yep.
Yep, sounds like
That's it. That's everything.
Vanzor. Vanzor's gonna go.
Thanks for that counterspell, buddy.
Yep.
Alrighty. Vanzor is going to cast a spell at the both of you as well, since it doesn't affect.
Which one's Vanzor? Oh, I just had my turn, so counterspell.
Okay. It fizzles.
Good stuff.
Alright. It is now the Anastasia's turn. Their turn is back up. They get all their legendary actions back.
Ugh.
so since I made a bit of an error, target has disability on ability or disadvantage on ability checks made with a chosen ability because of hacks.
Yeah. What do you want to pick?
Is wisdom.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let me check some things that's going to be important in case he has to roll spellcasting ability.
Awesome.
Alright. Their spellcasting ability is intelligence, but they're going to have disadvantage on their wisdom checks and such. Yeah, Prism Fell's
Intelligence
turn.
was right.
It's
All right, they are going to cast
Oh,
a
wizards.
spell.
So it breaks all their spells.
Right. So you see in the distance one of the planets that was dead starts to come forward in the void.
Oh no!
Yes.
As he brings up a hand and floats ever higher. He's not avoiding. He's just it's so happening at once. He's kind of floating up.
Oh no!
You're flying, so you're fine. But your dimension door. So he was floating up 20 feet. So you're 20 feet beneath him. Just so we're all clear.
Oh, okay.
It's non-Euclidean, but yeah.
I thought it was just like
No,
floating
he
a
was,
little off the ground.
he was
up,
like flying. So you're flying up there with him, but yeah. So he casts the arrival of a dying planet.
Oh no!
And you see,
Oh,
you all
no.
of a sudden all start to feel this weight on you.
Oh no!
As this dead planet of entropic energy, and he points
Oh no!
his hand forward.
Oh no!
Goodbye, friend.
That is
Sibelius,
killing me.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Is this a true move? Good God, I will kill someone.
And it will be Sibelius this
14. You fail.
Yeah.
You're going to take 3d12 damage.
time. Oh boy.
Oh, not that bad. You take 18 points of force damage. You are restrained until the end of his next turn as this gravitational force. You see all the rocks and stuff lift around. They seal to the ground. So you have disadvantage on strength saving throws and dexterity saving throws. The attack rolls have advantage against you. And your attack rolls have disadvantage.
Correct.
That is their turn. So top of the round, Selena.
Eldritch Blast. Pow, pow.
Alrighty, go ahead and make the attacks.
I have 2 attacks, and whichever one's hit end up with an extra d6 of damage because these are attacks. Oh well, nope. I'm not even gonna bother.
Okay.
Nat 1 and Nat 2.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
So the
that
two
did
beams
nothing.
streak past him.
Yeah. And then we've got. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna hold on to it. So that was it. That's what I've got.
Alrighty.
If I'm not over whatever constitutes landmass, I would fly over a landmass.
Forward?
Probably to the side here.
Kind of there? Or-
Close enough.
Okay.
As long as, for whatever reason, something keeps me from flying, I am over something.
Okay.
Rather than death.
That your turn?
Mm-hmm.
On Cloaky's turn, they are going to move you up 5 feet.
I wanted him to move
You're
A
within
bit
60
closer.
feet. Okay.
because my intent was to cast Beacon of Hope next round.
So
Which is
5,
30
10,
feet.
15, 20. 5. Sorry. So you would end up with his. You would end up there because he has to use his action to grapple you initially.
Okay,
So you're there.
better than nothing. Thank you.
That is Cloaky's turn. Justice.
I will attempt to continue to pummel him with my strikes. No one is adjacent, unfortunately, so I do not get advantage.
Not as such.
That is unfortunate. Ooh, 26 to the attack.
26 hits.
Stunning strike.
Yeah. They're going to need a concentration saving throw too. Yeah, a million. And how much damage do you do?
13 points of damage. Got it. Second attack. Actually, yeah, no, that's too late. Yeah, that's too late. That is a 15 to hit.
15 just hits. They are going to use their reaction to cast shield.
Okay. I'm going to use bonus action flurry of blows.
Okay. So tell me the necrotic because it's going to get halved.
Okay.
So report the full necrotic damage. I will have it.
First attack roll is a 23.
Hit.
So this is, and I have the electricity, so we'll see the green is necrotic. So the necrotic is 1 point.
Okay, that's 0.
And then 8 points of the remainder.
Okay.
And then I have one more flurry of blows attack.
Alrighty.
Oh, stunning strike.
Okay. So you count all those, it's like 4 at this
Yeah,
point? 17.
Fuck him.
He seems to have about a +8 to Constitution saving throws.
Okay. Well, that
Creature
one's
of the void.
happened. Yeah. Last attack is a 25.
Hit.
That is 16 points of damage. Oh, and 3 of that was necrotic.
Thank you. So you can see dagger after dagger strike and punches as you're laying into them in this aerial combat. You can see they are looking rough.
Oh.
Your series of blows have caught this creature by some surprise. Is that your turn?
That was my bonus, all that, yeah. So I'm just, going nuts on them.
So you can see not a look of fear because they don't care, but a look of determination, and they make concentration saving throws for that damage. Yeah, 28. Yeah, 20. Yeah, you're good. They're good. They maintain concentration on the arrival of the dying planet. They're going to use all 3 of their legendary actions to cast a spell.
Counterspell.
Counterspell? Go ahead and roll it. Okay. 1 second, actually, sorry. Yeah, go ahead and roll it. They're going to fly 30 feet up. So, hold on, let me do this in order.
Okay.
They fly 30 feet up, provoking an attack of opportunity from you.
Yes. Well, 13.
Yes. And they fly up. They are now 50 feet from you. They're still in counterspell range.
Okay.
And they're going to cast a spell. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. 15 on the dice plus 4, so 19 total.
That'll do it. They cast Entropic Meteor of the Malevolent Stars, which is a 9th level spell. You see them conjure a ball of pure force and malevolence. And they throw it down. You can see as it flies towards Justice and Sylvius and pretty much everyone else, actually.
Oh, God.
It would explode in a 60-foot radius and do 20d6 force damage, requiring a charisma saving throw.
Charisma!
Creatures knocked unconscious are disintegrated.
Oh!
The ball flies towards the center, and Sylvius just lets out and it fades.
Buddy!
Thanks for not falling into the black hole earlier.
Woo, boy.
That's their 9th
We're
level
doing
spell.
great!
What's wrong with
Thanks
you,
for
Matt?
not falling into the black hole earlier.
Yeah.
So how many 9th level spells have I
That's 3
counterspelled
now.
3.
That's
3 in
3.
your career.
Yep. 2 off stream.
Sylvius,
This is
it's
your
your
first one on
turn.
stream.
No, the other one on stream was Mr. Finkelstein.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. So he ruined my plans because he's farther up now, but I think I can still... So I'll just throw a fireball at him because I'm restrained still.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I can do.
Oh, you're still restrained.
Yeah.
Dexterity saving throw?
Yep. So I'm going to throw a 5th level fireball at him.
They make it 18 plus 6, 24. So you see them move out of the way deftly.
Just a half.
It's still 10d6 damage. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you, chat, for the compliments.
Yeah.
Yeah, these spell names are the tits.
Yeah, I will share them for the public when they're more refined. I'm just play testing them on episode 43. It's
You
fine.
know, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Just testing them out on us.
You damn right.
I need to start using some more.
750 d6 damage.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wednesdays are just guinea pig nights.
That's right.
Every time we cook or bake something
29 points of fire
try
damage.
spells.
That's right.
29, and then he halves that to 14. Yeah. You reported me the full, yeah?
Yeah. 1 points of full fire damage.
Thanks.
I was gonna lightning lure him, but he moved away.
Oh, it sucks to suck. Is that your turn?
That
You
is my
can't jump
turn.
high enough?
I
You still
can't
have
move.
hops?
I'm restrained.
Yeah.
Oh.
Teleport?
I can't teleport high
Misty
enough.
step?
I can't Misty Step high enough. He's 50 feet up.
You
He's
suck,
30
Rob.
feet.
Why do you
And
keep
Misty
feeling this?
Step, and just so you all know, Misty Step would not unrestrain him in this case.
Correct.
Ah,
It's the
damn.
very
Got it.
force of gravity keeping him down. Sligthar's turn.
Do I make a save against restrained? Or is
It's
it
just end of Nez next turn.
Okay,
buddy.
got
Sixth
it.
level spell. Sligthar is going to cast Collapse of a Yearning Titan.
Mother of gods.
You see them put their hands together. Sorry, podcaster, my headphone users. And you see this kind of mini spiral galaxy spiral out of their hands. Y'all are 20 feet apart.
And I'm up, yep, 20 feet up.
So I need both of you to make. Let me double check. I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws.
What was the name of this spell again?
Collapse of a Yearning Titan.
And I
Yes,
have
oh,
disadvantage because I'm restrained.
Oh no!
It's a 9.
Oh.
So you
Plus
fail.
I'm massive. Well, not total. Sorry. 9, 10, 11, 12. So
Fail.
I still fail.
17.
17. You succeed, which is good for Sevilius, actually.
So I have evasion.
Yeah, so you dodge it completely. So Sevilius, you're going to take the full damage, but you... 6, 12, you take 15 points of force damage as it yanks you up, and it would be at the center point, it'd be 10 feet, and then you're going to take 1d6 falling damage. 1 point of bludgeoning. Then you fall. You can see this other force, this other power pull you forward, and you get the sense that it's this kind of collapsing nova that tries to pull people together and smack them together.
Nice.
Basically, the more things it catches, the more damage it does.
That's awesome.
So
it really
it's-
brings people together.
It's
Yeah,
3d6
that's right.
force, and then an additional 1d6 for each creature that fails the saving throw.
Nice.
Boy.
That is brought in the center.
That's pretty
Wow.
hot.
Thank you. I was inspired a little bit by one of Mercer's Dunamancy spells. I don't know what it does, but I was inspired by the aesthetic of it.
Nice.
I feel like Neo right now, floating in the air.
Yeah. That was Sligthar's turn. So yeah, they spin their hand, and a kind of mini collapsing star pulls you all in. Yeli, it's your turn.
I can't do what I wanted to do because I can't move myself forward. So I'm going to ask Clokey to try to get me in a place where hopefully I can catch all of my companions within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
And
Based on non-Euclidean. Yeah, you can right there. But Clokey's gonna have to move you. Oh, Clokey would have moved you. Oh, Clokey did move you. Oh, did I?
yeah, Clokey moved me, so I'm still at the same level as I was before.
Yeah.
I didn't drop down or anything.
Right. So
So,
only
Cl-
Selena's within 30 feet of you.
Currently, right. So I'm waiting for Clokey to move me to like where.
So you cast it and ready it.
Nope. I'm gonna wait till my next turn because
Alright.
counter spells are more important.
Okay.
But on this turn, okay, so this robe of stars.
Yep.
It lets me. I'm
Fifth
just
level.
Checking. Up to 5th level. Okay.
I think they all come out at 5th level.
Oh, each one.
Yeah,
is
each
at
patch.
5th
Yep.
level.
Yeah, it fucks it up.
I'm gonna a patch.
So you pull out a star, or just a piece of starlight, and you throw it forward, and as it does, 7 magic missiles erupt from it.
Now remind me. Did what's his face still have shield up?
He does. Yeah,
Okay.
he does.
So I will target. What's his name? Slig. Whatever starts with
Sure,
L.
Sligthar.
With S. I mean, has he been hit yet by anything?
No.
He's to the right, yeah.
And Vanzar hasn't either.
Yep.
Hands
74
on.
plus 7.
Okay. So I'm
That's
just gonna
hot.
go for Sligthar.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I love it.
Okay. Middling damage, really. 22.
And they do not have shield. So the missiles come screaming out. And Sligthar looks wrecked. Not hurt, but... And not quite rough, but just wrecked by that. Hurt by it.
Perfect.
Damage.
Perfect. And then with my bonus action, I will go ahead and, yeah, you probably need it. I'll throw Sibelius a healing word.
I don't look that bad right now.
How?
I don't look that bad right now, but...
Right, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, anything helps.
Damage mitigation as much as possible. Ooh, you get a full 10 points of healing.
Alright. Is that your turn?
This is the dawning of the age of Sibelius. Yep, it's my turn.
Vanzor's turn. Vanzor is going to point over to where Sibelius and Justice are and cast a spell. They are going to actually just double team.
Does it look familiar to me based on what I've seen so far?
Looks like a collapsing titan. So the spell
Yeah,
reaches
so I'll
it.
counterspell it.
Go ahead and roll it.
Actually,
You're going to use your amulet?
I think so.
Okay.
Because that will allow me to, it gives me a 10,
It's an
right?
auto 10, yeah?
An auto 10 plus 8.
Yes.
So it'll counterspell anything other than 9th level, right?
Correct.
Do I recognize this as a 9th level? No.
You have no idea.
I'm using it.
Alright. So as you go to release the counter spell, I think this is one of the only times you've ever used this combination, and you start to, instead of throwing out a wild spell, you just kind of ready and use your amulet. You can hear it going, and it centers, and it locks, and the counter spell flies out, and the spell just shatters. That's cool. That was Vanzor's turn.
Ooh.
The Anastasia Chrysotal is going to go.
Okay.
They get all their legendary actions back.
At a 3rd level.
They are going to cast a spell, of course. Actually, excuse me. Yeah. They're going to use their action to call down more of this energy. You are 20 feet apart now, still. Because you didn't fly up, so it can still center, because it's a 10-foot thing. So there's this burst, and I need you both to make Constitution saving throws.
Yeesh.
Oh no. I should not have watched.
That dying planet that it's using the energy from sends down another gravitational wave. Hey, you fail?
16.
16 just succeeds.
With my plus 0.
Wow.
My dice have hated me tonight.
Yeah, they have not been very kind.
You take 24 points of force damage, and unfortunately you are restrained.
I'm still restrained anyway. 29.
Oh boy.
Ridiculous.
6th level spell.
At least you have...
Wait, that seemed apologetic from you.
No.
Oh.
I didn't hear a get fucked. You said
Oh.
unfortunately you're restrained. It just seemed like
Well, because
I'm sorry.
unfortunately he's not killed.
oh
Yeah.
right, that makes sense.
You're just restrained.
Correct.
That is
Instead of a fine paste on the ground.
there's their action.
Just-
Let me double check real quick. They don't really have bonus actions, unfortunately.
Let's give it to him.
They are going to kill someone. No.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to try.
That's their turn. Selena, your turn.
Selena.
I'm so glad my songs keep,
I don't
in
know
your
if
heads.
anyone else still has this, but seeing him restrained, I will yell out, oil of slipperiness, if you still have any Eldritch Blast.
Okay, roll two attacks. They have their reaction back.
I know a bunch of us had some for a while. Christ all fucking mighty. Alright.
used it to
That
go when it
is... why can I not find this? 15 and 18 to hit.
They both hit.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, so that's 2d10 plus 2d6 Because hacks.
Yep.
Alright, so it's 5 points of necrotic.
Okay.
And then I think that's a 6.
Thank you for parsing that out for me.
9 plus 2. So I think that one's the 9. Yeah, because that one's the 6. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Should be a dot.
Then, their fancy does. I
Okay.
don't know. 11.
What's a
11 points of
force?
force.
So 6 and 11. Okay, you're good.
6 and 11.
That's your action?
And then that was my action. Knowing that she does Buffy things, I'm going to move up towards the middle of whatever that heart-shaped rock is.
Oh, heart-shaped rock.
The anatomically correct heart-shaped rock.
Try
The pile of
really
rocks.
hard
The pile of rocks in the center.
not
Yeah.
to sing
That's 20
Nirvana.
feet down.
That I
You
can
should have
fly.
flying boots.
Oh yeah.
So, like, here-ish.
Here-ish. About
Yeah. Because how far does it stick me from the baddies?
there? Yeah. 70 feet.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay.
Is that your turn?
Moving. Healing word. First level healing word to Sevilius.
Okay.
So 1d4 plus 4. That's 5 points of healing. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. That's my turn. I'm good. Thank you.
So they are going to fly another... So 50 feet off the ground, which means they're 30 feet away from you. They're going to fly 30 feet up. So they are now 80 feet off the ground. 80 feet away from you, Sevilius.
Oh, this changes things for me.
And, yeah. You're 20. Yep. So it's 60 feet away from you. It is going to cast Diadem of the Endless Ones on you. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw. What? Are you gonna...
Oh, this is a legendary action.
Yes, all 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I was thinking about.
No, it's okay. I forgot to say it. I marked it in my mind. Forgot to say, oh, that's their resistances.
11.
Alrighty. This one is there. You bear witness to the void.
Oh no, I helped him write this one.
Oh, that reaction! Oh no, I have to read this one!
24. You take 30 points of psychic damage.
My temp.
Yeah. Alright. Selena, is Cloaky moving you forward?
Oh, me, yeah.
It's Cloaky's turn. 5, 10, 15.
Good luck. Lasting effects.
The start of your turn, I need you to roll a d6.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
2.
You drop what you are holding, and you end your turn.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Oh, be glad that's what happened.
But
Nope.
then you need to make another intelligence saving throw.
15.
No, just misses.
Oh, be glad that you rolled a 2. Not
So
like
if you're
a 5.
floating, your dagger then falls all the way down to the ground.
Fine.
Bounces back up.
Really, I'm really sorry, but don't you have to hold your cloak to fly?
It doesn't quite. He drops whatever he's holding is kind of intended to be the weapon.
Okay.
He can't drop his cloak.
Okay.
Maybe, but who knows?
So
Sevilius,
fall anyway.
go ahead.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
that's true.
All right. So I can't move. I can't hit him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think I'm at least 60 feet away from either Vanzar. Probably Vanzar. He's closer to me. I will cast Frostbite at him. Either one,
Vanzar?
I think, right? Yeah.
Okay.
DC 16.
No,
con
fails.
save. All right. He will take 2d6 frost damage.
Awesome.
And have disadvantage on his
Yeah.
next attack.
Takes 5 frost damage.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And then I'm going to do it again as a bonus action because I have bracers and it's a
That's
cantrip.
right. There you go.
They take the full 5.
Wow, that's surprising to me.
Hey, I didn't design the creature.
So, again.
Con save! fails. It's a +0 to its con.
Takes 4 points of frost damage.
That's
It is double
disadvantage
disadvantage. No.
on the
Straight.
weapon attack that it's definitely going to be making.
Yeah. Right.
Quadruple disadvantage. That's how this works.
Literally the only range spell that isn't like 15 feet.
Yeah. Oh, no, I have a
Or
bunch of them.
uses.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, you
Civilians?
do. I don't. That is my turn.
All right, Sligthar. Sligthar is running not low.
I
on
wonder if I
resources.
can teach you any of my spells.
Multi-class.
So Gilly, you're 20
No.
feet up from the space. Did you fly? When you flew up, just to keep track of things, you flew upwards.
I didn't
20
fly
or did you just
anywhere
fly
higher
straight?
than where I was here.
So then you're
Just
20 feet up
straight over.
from Selena. Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Sligthar is going to cast Final Vestige of a Fading Sun. So they point out to that a space in between you two, and there's a mote of sunlight.
Could I have my reaction back?
Oh, I have mine counterspell.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because I don't think I have mine.
It goes away.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I just did my turn.
Sligthar. Gilly!
Okay. I'm going to cast Sleet Storm on What's-His-Face up in the air.
Oh,
Because he
okay.
is far away from all of my friends.
He is.
So I'm going to cast it so that, let's see. He's how many feet above my friends right now? Above
80?
Civilius?
He's 80
80
feet up.
feet above
80
Civilius?
feet, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's how many feet above Justice?
60.
60 feet above Justice. Okay. So yeah, it's a 40-foot cylinder.
Okay. Dexterity saving throws at start of his turn or when it appears?
I'll double check it. It says... Oh, it's a 20-foot tall cylinder, 40-foot radius.
Mhm. Shit.
And when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there,
So start of his turn. Okay.
Yep. it will make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it will fall prone.
Okay.
Also, will have, if it stays up there, it will have disadvantage on Constitution saving throws against
Yeah, which reminds me.
to keep concentration on the spell.
Okay, it's maintaining concentration. Yep. All right, that's your action.
That is my action. So, let it snow. Let it snow. So, yeah. And then I'm going to give out a healing word to my buddy Civilius again. At first level. Another 10. I like rolling max on healing words. It's really
Feels
great.
good, right?
It feels so good.
Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Vanzor's turn. I'm on the wrong screen. Hello. All right. Lots of spells. Lots of magic.
That's right.
He has
that's right.
disadvantage on his.
Yeah. on his weapon
Don't forget
attacks
it.
that he's
Yeah,
definitely
if he
going
wants
to
to
make.
make a weapon
He pulls
attack.
out a dagger. Like
He starts knifing civilians. Yeah. You know what? They've only got one of them, but there's no time like the present. I'll make it for Cloaky. Selena and Gilly make. So he's going to cast a spell.
No, he's not.
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay, it's at 4th level, by the way.
Okay.
Because that's what I've got left.
Okay. This is a 5th level spell.
Okay.
This one you've all seen before. This is Kona Cold.
Ooh, it's a 16 on the die.
Then
We're
you're
good.
good. It fades away.
Ooh.
thank the gods.
Would have been okay.
Prism Tall's turn.
it's
So
better
at
to
the
counterspell
start
that.
of their turn, they need to make a dexterity saving throw. They're
That's
not
right.
the best at these. No, that is a 2.
He's prone.
He does not actually have hover, so he falls.
And he will take.
86.
Yep.
Nice.
You roll it.
Oh,
Roll that
I roll
beautiful
it.
bean footage.
What I'm rolling
86.
86.
Yeah, 86. See,
Nice.
yeah, no, he's gonna take it. Actually, he only has 2.
Oh! Oh!
He only has 2 of those.
This is a lot of high
Oh!
numbers.
Oh! And this is, I'm not even done. Okay, so hang on. So that right there is 30, and then plus 2 more d6.
Shit. Falling damage. He does not have feather fall.
42! I rolled 2 6.
So he lands. Maybe he should have saved. Oh well, he chose not to. He only has 1 legendary resistance left. So he falls because he only has 2. He falls with a mighty thud, lands on the ground.
42 points of damage.
He uses it. Well, that's the start of his turn. So he just from his prone position.
Eat shit!
It's pretty great. You see him put his claws inside of his chest.
Oh no. Oh no.
If not me, no one.
Uh-oh.
If not this, then nothing. He
Oh, no.
pulls his chest apart. Need everyone.
I just used my reaction too. This is not
It's
good.
not a spell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, even for cutting words.
Oh yeah, that's a
Did I make a constitution saving throw?
What
That
is it?
86, I rolled so high.
Pretty great. I need you all to make strength saving throws.
Oh!
Christ.
Why?
Ooh.
Goodbye,
This is
my
an illusion.
lover. Goodbye, my
Is this a
friend.
charm effect? Is it a fey or elemental?
You know, at least I said it was a joke. Oh! Shit.
Oh, yep. I have failed whatever that is. This is going to end poorly.
I rolled the worst thing I can roll.
I think I'm gonna be okay.
Okay.
4.
You fail.
2!
You fail.
6.
Oh no.
Fail.
Oh
10.
no.
Oh my god.
We're so fucked.
Bye, Matt.
We're so fucked.
You all take 56 points of force damage.
Okay.
And you are pulled into his event horizon.
No. Oh.
I'm down.
As he explodes.
Oh no.
You fall through the void.
Yes!
Oh no, come
And you
on.
see the temple slip away from you. The place that you needed to be. The place where the Voidsmith was going to meet you. And you just keep falling.
Come on.
You see a face peer over it. You can see the Voidsmith, and you just see the look as he tries to reach down to the portal. That's where we will end tonight's session.
For fuck's sake.
So, what happens, hypothetically, I'm asking for a friend.
If a druid, a veteran druid from the war, got lost in the void.
I mean, not just lost in the void, but unconscious in the void.
I'm conscious of the Lord, yeah.
Oh, were you also down?
I have 53 total hit points.
Ditto.
I had 56 total damage.
Thank you, Krista, for this bit.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
you.
Thanks.
Oh,
You're
no.
not unconscious. It wasn't disintegration effects. You're lucky there.
This time.
That's when they were going to retool it. You know, to make it the
I
same.
didn't design that one.
I'm still up.
So,
Me too.
4 HP.
Oh, wow.
It turns out this party isn't good at strength.
Nope. Not at
Not a
all.
paladin or barbarian in sight.
Nope.
Bunch of weaklings.
Well, once we all die and we re-roll all a party of full paladins.
Hey, your ancestor's dead. That's looking on the bright side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
boy.
You know, we're slowly doing what the Void never could, and the Gish, and destroying every last vestige of your family.
That's right.
Yep.
What you doing over there?
I'm taking a
Yes,
picture
sweetheart.
for...
Thank you,
It's
Mima.
nice.
Aww.
Did he? Aw, thanks, Asima.
I think if you just type, I don't know, but we appreciate bits in all forms. You can type them out. You can write us a poem in bits. We don't care. Thank you again, everyone who showed up. Thank you, Legend of Adventures, for the host. That was
Thank you
killer.
so much.
We love you all.
Rafe
over
is
there.
just, oh.
That was fun.
Oh
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I've
I
been
mean-
waiting on a lot of that a while, but a good bit of that I improv because I was like, yeah, you know, prep. Who cares?
Right, exactly.
It's overrated. Ain't that right, Nat?
So, have you given any thought to what your next campaign's going to be about?
I know it's not going to involve any of you.
Okay.
I'm thinking about bringing on a whole new set, kind of like the Johnny Carson show in the late 80s.
Sure.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
There was some dangerous criminals I met in my prison outreach program. I thought they'd be nice to bring.
Right, perfect. And at least one dog. Like, literally just have a dog.
Yeah.
Seems like a better
Ginger
group
really
than
She's a
would
good
like
boy.
to play D&D.
Well, I think she's more decisive than...
Yeah, she's better at it. So. Oh.
She's like, Mark.
So this is
Cuddle.
fun to open up to next week with 2 of us unconscious.
In the void. As
Floating.
we all knew we'd end up here eventually.
Right, yeah.
Just
I mean,
looked at the overlay. We are not doing hard.
Not doing great.
Not doing great.
4
We'll be okay.
points, 2 unconscious. Meh.
Making good choices.
Wow. Wow.
I think we'll be, you know, this is all fine.
This is fine.
This is where we're supposed to be. It's where we're supposed to end up.
Ooh,
In the
boys.
void, alone.
I don't know what story you're reading. I didn't know this was going to happen.
For eons. Coming back to a ruined world.
You could have just said
Wow.
no.
Could-
You know what? We're good, actually. We're just going to try this whole thing by ourselves.
I still have the shards of the swords, so I mean, that's
Nice.
not going to help me, but here we are.
Precisely.
We didn't give them over. You didn't kill me and get a magical artifact.
If you're just now tuning in, stick around for the rerun. Thank you all. Be here next week at 7 p.m. Check us out tomorrow. Variant Rolls at roughly 7 or 8 p.m. Check that. And on Friday, Big Boy season. And just, follow, subscribe. Love you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye!
Oh, I never have it prepped. Never.